The book of Joshua, chapter 22, verse 47, verse 46. And the day arrived when the sons of Elohim came and placed themselves before Yahuah, and Satan also came with the sons of Elohim before Yahuah. Verse 47. And Yahuah said unto Satan, Where have you come from? And Satan answered and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. In other words, everywhere and nowhere at the same time. And Yahuah said unto Satan, What is your word to me concerning all the children of the earth? Asking his opinion. And Satan answered Yahuah and said, I have seen all the children of this earth who serve you, and remember you when they require anything from you. He said, I've seen all of them, that remember you when they need something from you. But when they don't need anything from you, say, nah, you're missing something. I'll read it to you again so you can get it clearly. He says, again, verse 48, And Yahuah said unto Satan, What is your word to me concerning all the children of the earth? And Satan answered Yahuah and said, I've seen all the children of the earth who serve you and remember you when they require something from you. But when you give them the thing which they require from you, they sit at their ease, in other words, and they forsake you, and they remember you no more. Have you seen Abraham, the son of Terah, who at first had no children, and he served you, and he erected altars to you wherever he came, and he brought up offerings upon them, and he proclaimed your name continually to all the children of the earth. And now that his son Isaac is born to him, hasn't he forsaken you? So he's accusing Abraham of being self-centered, putting himself before Yahuah, his needs before Yahuah. So now we know those who think that way, who think that you're, the table, or you're the straw that stirs, the drink. Now we know where you get that mentality from. Now we know who's, who you keep company with, so to speak. But let us continue on. He goes on to say in verse 50, he proclaimed your name continually to all the children of the earth. Say, as long as, he needed you, he talked about you. But as soon as you gave him a break, as soon as you blessed him, then all of a sudden, he didn't need you anymore. We saw that with Lot and Abraham in Joshua chapter 15. If you were with us in the Tanakh study a couple of weeks ago, we studied that out. Happens all the time, brothers and sisters. This arrogance or thinking that Yahuah will fall for your sorcery, and even worse, as though he's your 10 cent, corner or $3 restaurant or $10, take care of me whore. Otherwise, I don't need no man. Y'all know how that works. Verse 51, at least in this day and time. Verse 51, and now that his son Isaac is born to him, he has forsaken you, and he has made a great feast for all of the inhabitants of the land. And Yahuah he has forgotten. Again, Thanksgiving is coming up. The next holiday is coming up. Our people are more concerned whether or not they're going to get an EBT card or what size turkey they're going to eat when their asses are so damn fat or wide they can't sit on a goddamn park bench without it overlapping. On most days, I eat one meal a day, brothers and sisters. One. Including yesterday. A sandwich. somewhat healthy one. Well, it wasn't a filthy one because I don't eat filth. What I mean filth like pigs and crabs and those things that Leviticus 11 tells us not to eat. And again, if you were with us last week, you would know that we taught that in our most recent Tanakh study about healthy food. It comes from the earth, about the importance of a physician that needs to be there to navigate for us as we do the work, to ensure that we're blessed and to ensure that our work is prosperous. But again, like a two-bit whore, most of Israel could care less. Just give me what I want. Tell me what you want from me. Take a look and you will see. Let me know right here. Whatever the hell the rest of that damn filthy heathen song goes. But it's all about me, me, me. And this is what Satan is accusing Yahshua of, because he's saying, I'm looking at the children. He said, I see what most of Israel is doing. He said, they're imitating and emulating the world. They don't care anything about you unless they want something from you. They don't come to you. Many are serving you because they don't want to go to hell, not because they love you with a clear heart, not because you gave them life, not because you've given them whatever it is that most of them, clearly don't appreciate, because instead of them congregating and building it up, they're getting farther and farther away from you and dirtying it up. That's why Isaiah accused us, brothers and sisters. This is all connecting. Stay with the elder. That's why Isaiah accused us in the book of Isaiah. What did he say? The ass knows his owner, the ox his master's crib. He said, but Israel don't know who the hell they are, and they don't even care. And he's right. Most of you don't give a damn about Yahuah. All you care about, again, is what size turkey you're going to get. I hope they get the EBT cards. And maybe the little, mangy little pay raise you hope to get that you probably don't deserve, because you're probably going to the damn job and treat the damn job the way you treat Yahuah, as a means to an end, a necessary evil, not a treasure, not life, not the giver of life, the provider of life. But it is what it is. There's such a thing called roadkill. Any of you guys familiar with that? Roadkill? Take these off for just a second. If you know what roadkill is, then you know that that's when you go down the roads, on many roads, highways, especially in rural areas, and sometimes cities too, but rural areas in particular, and you'll see like a dead deer in the road, or a dead squirrel, or dead, possum, or armadillo, whatever it is, but it was run over by a car. And so we all can recognize it, or you've seen it, so I'm sure you recognize it. But there may be something that you miss in roadkill. You know why roadkill happens to animals? Most animals anyway? Because they're stupid. They're the dummies of their kind, the ignorant, the dumb, greedy dogs. You know what I'm saying? Those who are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, those who won't listen to the wise. What do you mean, elder? Well, the reason their asses end up roadkill is because they don't realize the environment has changed. In other words, they still, living in the past. They don't recognize there's a highway right between the road that they're trying to go to, or cross, better said, to get to what they're looking for. It's like when you see the proverb that reads, well, I'll give you the number and I'll tell you what it reads, the Proverbs 26:11. It says, it's like the dog who returns back to his own vomit. In other words, they don't learn. They don't pay attention to the change, or they think that somehow by falling back is progress. Let me relive my childhood all over again, or my adulthood. And just like a dumb animal, that's what happens to them, roadkill. This book warned us not to learn the ways of the heathens, that these heathens don't change. They are soulless beings that are not even human, most of them. I'm talking about the children of the wicked, the children of the fallen, not necessarily the wicked. They have no conscience. They're again, ignorant. Wolves in sheep's clothing. And when you try to reason with them, you try to explain, say, hey, look, don't go that way. That way is, there's a way, as Solomon said it better, 14 and 12, said, that way will lead to your death. But what do they say? Well, you didn't leave me on any choice, so I got to do what I got to do. Then you're a damn fool, because everybody has choices. How do I know that? Because Yahuah said we have a choice. Deuteronomy 30:19 says, I put before you life, and I put before you death. And except you want to experience roadkill, you might want to choose life. I say learn not the ways of the nations around you. Why? Because they're sorcerers, they're divinators. Deuteronomy 18 and 14. Well, what does Israel do? Just like they're going to do in another week or so, they're going to shake their fist at Yahuah, and they're going to say, don't tell me nothing. They're not going to shake their fist at Yahuah, because like Satan said, they're going to pretend that they love Yahuah, but they're going to do what the hell they want to do. This is what he's saying. He said they don't really love you. They only love what they can get from you. We know people like that, do we not, brothers and sisters? All over the place. And when Satan says he goes down, going up and down in the earth, he's saying what I'm doing is observing how they actually do, how they treat you. Satan said, you look down upon me as though I'm the cause of all the problems, but you might be missing the fact that they want those problems, that they are actually causing themselves. Roadkill. They won't look at the environment. They won't acknowledge the signs of the time. Yahuah is telling brothers and sisters, he's telling this whole earth through the economic falling of every society, not just the United States. Don't believe the hype. Oh, Africa is on the rise. I'm going to show you something in a moment. That's a lie. I know somebody told you that. So that's why you believe it. But if Yahuah had told you that in this book, then you start shaking your finger. No. I believe the man. What man? The statistician. What man? Your pastor. What man? Your president. What man? Your government. What man? Your cousin who worked for UPS, or your uncle who worked for Microsoft. They gotta know. No, they don't know a goddamn thing other than what they read in some damn book that they accuse many of us, the righteous remnant, of doing when it comes down to this Torah. So you know it's under me. They read the heathen's book, the heathen's science book, the heathen's history book, the heathen's book on mathematics, and they never question those writings. And I'm not just talking about, the so-called non-melanated heathens. I'm talking about you Timbuktu, Babylon Timbuktu niggas too. You Book of the Dead reading, you Solomon, swearers, dumb idiots. Who the hell is Solomon if Yahuah didn't create him? Who the hell is Solomon if Yahuah didn't bless him? But you make him out to be a god because you love, again, the things of this earth. That's how you get your high. That's how you get your, your mojo on. But yet, you, man, stand right there and say, no, I'm down, brother, I'm down. You ain't down, you're a clown, you're a fool, you're talking shit, you're talking out your ass. Where are your results? You so down. Show us what you have accomplished that matters beyond yourself. Because this is what Satan is saying Abraham does, and he damn sure said all the children of the earth is doing it. Of course, some of us beg to differ. We'll look Satan right in the face, you're a damn lie. I put Yahuah first in my life, and my behavior backs that up. I don't see Yahuah as a slot machine, a lottery ticket. Like I'm playing, Fandango or whatever hell these gamblers do. He's not the football pool. He's not the drink that gets stirred. Not with us. He's everything to us. I mean everything. But they can't understand that because, again, they're so caught up on self. Just like they're being accused of righteously by Satan. There's a while back, we had someone who was with us and he was going on this thing about, Satan being righteous. And of course, Satan is not righteous. But that doesn't mean he can't be right. This book says the earth has been given over to the hands of the wicked. Is that right? Of course, some of you going to say, no, Yahuah running, because you don't know nothing. That's why you're saying that. Because the same, that breath that comes out your mouth, that foul odor that's called breath that comes out your mouth is the same one that, when other situations happen around you, you act like Yahuah doesn't exist. Then you're more than willing to give the credit to the man. Like I said, you want something from it, and you're willing to do whatever you got to do to ride that pony, to ride that Ferris wheel. But only when it comes down to the things of Yahuah, you got some heat, you got some pushback. And that's why you're going to end up roadkill. This book said that the heathens, the wicked is what he's saying. Again, the earth. And he's just talking about, again, other nations. Yeah, those nations are conspired against us, but the reason they can succeed are succeeding in their conspiracy against us because just like we are being accused of by Satan, who many of us say, you hate. I can't stand him. Satan don't tell me what to do. I don't know what you're talking about. You don't understand my situation. You don't understand how I get out here. You don't know my past. I know. But I can damn sure see where you are and where you're going. And just like the skunk and the squirrel and the deer and everything else that can't read the signs of the times, you're going to get crushed. Give it a minute. Many of you are already crushed and you just don't even know you crushed because you run your mouth all the time. You try to divert the truth. You push the truth away. You try to project it on someone else who Yahuah is actually blessing. You try to, conflate it. Try to say, no, I'm blessed too. Well, why aren't you serving Yahuah completely then? Because all blessings come from here. The books of the blessings of Elohim make a man rich and add no sorrow. So why aren't you ever present before him keeping these commandments? Since you're so blessed. But again, what did David say in Psalm 58:3? He said, the wicked, from the time they come from between their mother's legs, from her womb, they go about lying. They're just liars. Men, women, children, old liars, young liars, dark liars, melanated liars, light-skinned liars, no melanated liars, just liars. They wouldn't tell you the truth, brothers and sisters, if their life depended on it, if telling you that truth means they're going to have to, give up something for it. Not going to do it. And they'll conflate things. Oh, it's a good situation. You're doing the right thing. I'm so proud of you. Right behind your damn back. They have plotted, they have connived and created something. So they got to tell you, what you want to hear, right, brothers and sisters? Because they don't want you to know what they actually did. And then when you confront them on it, oh no, surely what Yahuah wants from me. Surely what Yahuah wants from you. And because most of us are egomaniacs, not all of us, are egomaniacs. We just drink, the Kool-Aid. Y'all know that reference. We talked about that, with Jim Jones, Guyana, People's Temple. Stroke that ego. Tell me what you want from me. Tell me what I want to hear. And then we good. We good. But if you say anything that upsets me, anything that challenges me, then we're not good. You do anything that, changes my environment, I'm going to run my dumb ass right on across that road because I'm going to go get it back and your ass going to get smashed and you deserve it. Praise Yahuah. But see, Satan is trying to conflate it. He's trying to say we're all like, them. Say all of them are like the whole earth. Well, now that part is a lie. Abraham wasn't that way. The book said Abraham was a righteous man before Yahuah. And he was. You study out with us again. And the reason I keep saying study out with us is who you studying with. Because I can assure you, whatever they're telling and teaching you ain't nowhere near what is truth. They're giving you an aversion of the truth because they don't want you to see the changing environment. That's why all this hope. Oh, look at everything. Look at the world. No, nothing has changed. No, nothing to see here. My grandchildren, they live with me. And you're a lying little, wicked little witch devil, just like they say they are. Male, females. Manipulators. Do wicked, but they don't hold themselves accountable. No, it's somebody else's fault. And then when you pin them to the corner, not you, Yahuah pins them to the corner, then they, just like Satan, they show up before Yahuah with the righteous. And somehow or another, they think because they show up here, brothers and sisters, they show up around us, that somehow or another, the blessings that Yahuah give unto us is going to overflow on them. Not if your ass is wicked, not for long. You might get away with it for a little while. But again, that's why you should be studying with us, because you would know what happened to Lot. Yeah, when Yahuah blessed Abraham, Sarah was blessed. Lot was blessed. Everybody that was with Abraham. But as soon as they start doing themselves, what happened? Sarah ended up dead. Lot ended up, in incest, homeless. And there are other parts to that. Deeper parts. But it's all there to expose what happens. The knowledge of why people do the things that they do. Written in this book. A book that no matter when you read it. No matter when you read it, it's what you call time-centric. When you read this book, it's the only book on this earth that you can read. You can read that 1984 foolishness and that Revelation book is a flat-out sorceress, lying book with a few little, nuggets of truth in there. Nothing time present. Let me see some scorpion coming out the goddamn ground with a helmet on his head. Prove it, goddammit. Oh, brothers of the people said we going in the wilderness, because in the Revelation chapter 12 said, the virgin, and her child, the woman and her child, they run into the wilderness. And, that's him saying the second Exodus, you know what I'm saying? No, I don't know what you're saying. I know what you're repeating. I know what you don't understand. That's the difference between the righteous remnant and many of you out there. That's exactly why you cannot be counted on to do nothing other than what you want to do, just like Satan accused you of, and you know it's true. Your problem is that no one's in your life who will confront you with your shit. And then when you get confronted with it for the first time, then all of a sudden we become the problem, right? But see, we're not the problem. See, we walk with integrity. Daughters of Zion, I'm sure some of you might be saying, well, I wish I had a man that just does what the hell he says. If he says he's going somewhere and he's, this is where he's going to be and this is what he's going to be doing, he actually does it. You can, not that you would, Daughters of Zion, because some of our Daughters of Zion are not walking with this spirit of insecurity. But I'm just saying, you can pick up the phone and call him. He's exactly where he said it was going to be, 12 hours later. Something to be said about that, man. That's a man of Yahuah. That's a man to be trusted. That's the one, as those, the saying goes, trying to get him is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. But we really know, as Yahuah said, very few will be saved. So that's why this whole place is like Sodom and Gomorrah. See, but that a very few, not a few, a very few. So more than likely, he's not counting most of you who are listening to this message. Not most of you. Some of you, yeah, most of you not. Because your behavior stinks. It smells of, how you say, rot gut whiskey. Because again, if it ain't you, if it ain't about you, if it's not a celebration of you, if it doesn't benefit you, then you become totally would be the proper way. I bet you already know. Snobbish, arrogant, prideful, cunning, conniving, sorcerous, rebellious, self-idolatrous. And that can go on and on and on. And which is even worse, you project that shit on your children. Because like Roadkill, you can't change. You just can't do it. Not because Yahuah didn't give you the ability to do it, because it doesn't benefit you, so you're not going to do it. I'm talking about the work of Yahuah. See, when Satan said about Abraham, he said, Abraham, he used to give sacrifice. He used to do all these offerings. Read it for yourself. But now, you gave him Abraham. Now, before he had what he wanted, before his situation or her situation changed, they were desperately seeking Yahuah. They were begging for their prayers to be answered. Yahuah, if I just give me a house, give me a better job, give me a good man, give me a good woman. And however it came to them, whether it had been from Yahuah or from these devils all over this earth, because they got evil spirits that listen to what we say, brothers and sisters. We call it the internet of all things now. You don't think they're listening to this message? You don't think they're listening to your television, to your GPS system, to your computer or your tablet, your iPad that you put in your little children's arms to rock them, to nurse them, and to, to train them up? This book said there shall be no secret that will not be revealed. Did not Amos say that? Did Yahuah say to him? Amos said, according to what Yahuah said to him, he said, shall there be a secret and not be revealed to my prophet? Well, if he's going to reveal it to me, you don't think these heathens are going to be listening ear hustling? And then try to create, contention, confusion? Or, like I say, marginalization, just marginalize. Why y'all listening to him? Who made him king? Yahuah made me king. And if there wasn't little children listening to this, you know what I'd probably say to you? It starts with an F. And it's not the word friendly. Yourself. Do something about it. Oh, I know. You'll do what you always do. Just hate on it. But that's okay. Because remember, you already been exposed. How do you know, Elder? Are you listening? Did I just not read it? The book tells us that Israel is so hard-hearted and stubborn and rebellious. Yahuah says, I got to up the ante on them. So I got to enlarge hell. Say, hell was made for the heathen nations. And that's where the heathen nations going to end up at. But he said, but now I got to make a little extra room. Because, Israel is outperforming the heathens. And not just these little nasty blood sacrifice holidays like Thanksgiving, a day of slaughter of your ancestors, not some, Mohegan, not disrespecting those who Israel that's from the tribe or Mohegans. Now I'm talking about them $5 Indians, Elizabeth Warren Indians. Those up in New England, they know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about, those who culture vultures, you know what I'm saying? Who how you say, have whitewashed, themselves right into our history. Then washed, the Israelite out of the Native American and made that Native American, white and red. But in the eyes of Yahuah, it ain't gonna work. Said, nah, it was y'all again who got slaughtered, Israel. And it was y'all again who got pushed into indoctrination through religion, Israel. Because y'all wanted, to soft pedal your way through life. You let these lazy ass heathens who did nothing but stand on the sideline and say, go pick that cotton, go get that corn, go hitch that bale, go break that horse. Get in the room, whore, and lay down so I can bust you down. You too, man. I'm gonna buck break you. And yet they used their Christiantics to do it. And what did our people do? Long after we so-called came off the plantation, physically you may have, but mentally still there. You got your child in any form of education system, you're part of any of this government control manipulation, you're still on the plantation. And let me give you a little historical fact. Some of you guys have heard me talk about King Leopold in the Belgian Congo. The Belgian king, but he got his money off the deaths of millions and millions of the people of the Congo. Many of those people were Israelites. The ones who survived that abuse, I can assure you, were probably the Israelites. They probably got it the harsh, but they probably survived it. But the other heathen, they probably were dropping dead in right out there, in the rubber, fields, the rubber mines, or whatever they were. Scorched earth recruiting and getting. Go read up on King Leopold, late 1800s. But one of the things he did with the missionaries, he said, when you go to these nations, they have a culture there. They believe in the singularity of the Creator. They believe that a man can't have another man's wife. He said they believe that, the family matters. He said they believe that they should fight against their enemies. They believe that they should be blessed if they work hard. They believe that if you're slothful, you deserve nothing. If you're lazy, you should have nothing. They also believe that in equity, if they do a crime, you have to be held accountable for the crime that you did so that it does not, incentivize and create an environment where others think they can do what you did. Tear down the culture. He said, so what you do, he said, don't go argue with them about their morals. Argue with them about their logic of their morals. Argue with them about Christianity. Because he said if you're poor, you're better off. Yeah, in fact, he says, go tell them, like Jesus said, or Yahuah, whatever that stinking demon nigger name is, tell them that, hardly can a rich man enter into the kingdom of heaven. It's like a camel going through the eye of a needle. So don't seek to be wealthy. Don't seek to be rich. Don't seek to be independent. Don't seek to be community driven. Do you. Just wait to get yours when you get to heaven. Blessed is the poor in spirit, because they're going to see God. So celebrate your poverty, your dependency. Celebrate your taxation without representation. Oh yeah, he told them that too. He said when you go there, so you make them pay taxes. I'm gonna drop in the link. It's a 3-page letter that was found years later from someone who was doing some research and stumbled upon a priest, and this priest, I guess did not recognize that those notes were in what he was holding because he was a part of The missionary, the Christians, like Pastor Jakes, Pastor Dow, Pastor Geno Jennings, Pastor Creflo Dollar, Pastor Joel Osteen, Pastor Lester Love, you know what I'm saying? Pastor Juanita Bynum, Pastor Paula White. Y'all know the drill. They're all in and on the take. They're all in on the scam. The fix is in. And you the product. Yahuah, we've been the product. But like Roadkill, most of us, we still going across that road, even though cars are coming now. No longer country road anymore. It's no longer, just a part of the landscape that our ancestors found food. Now you try to do what they did, you're going to get your ass ran clean over. You practice what they practice, you're going to get slaughtered. See, Yahuah said this earth is changing. Again, the time would come where people would not listen to wisdom. That people would be like zombies, like, blind sheep being led to the slaughter. Is what you'll read in Isaiah 53, verse 8 and 9. He said it would be just like that. He was talking about Judah. But see, the heathen gods, the heathen missionaries, better said, would tell them, oh no, he's talking about our God, Jesus. No, look, that's what you're going to see. You don't see his name there. But it implies, but you call it. If it implies, if you wrote it in your New Testament, and then you came over here, after you read our Torah, because they did have possession of it, brothers. Think about First Maccabees, because that whole fight was about with that king. They read our book, and then with First Maccabees chapter 3 says what? They would, put their little touches on our book. And then they will wrap it up, and then they will put it out there. Again, like Leopold said, don't challenge what they believe, just give them something else to add to what they believe, and that way you can break them down and divide them and conquer them, and then there will be sheep led to the slaughter. There was no New Testament, nobody would be talking about no damn Jesus, brothers and sisters. We know that. But again, we know that. Maybe I should say the righteous remnant know that, because the rest of them, as I said, most of the people we know are witches and warlocks and sorcerers. Just like the people were described by the Creator, how they would be, and Satan confirmed it. They don't care nothing about you. They care about us. Who's us, Elder DFG? The white man? Nah, the wicked man. They don't care that Thanksgiving was a slaughtering of Israelites up in the Northeast. In particular, Connecticut. Y'all don't know nothing about that. The true Native Americans who got tired of the pilgrims coming over here, stealing from them, giving them all kind of filthy diseases. Not because we wanted to lay up with them. No, they were snatching our women and raping them. Snatching our men, and doing the same to them. And who knows what else. These are the ones that's just documented, wiped out whole tribes of our people through diseases. We all heard about the smallpox, in the blankets that were given to our people, during the so-called Trail of Tears. But it was much worse than that, brothers and sisters. That's like an ant on the ass of an elephant. If that's all you think, they gave us, smallpox. You might want to go read about the Tuskegee experiment. You might want to go read about what happened in 2020 when they gave our people watermelon and fried chicken to roll up their sleeves. And now most of our people are walking around like zombies. No comprehension. Young, old, doesn't matter, male, female. That's why they don't respond to these teachings. Again, that's why they prepared them for what? Sheep to the slaughter or roadkill. Has nothing to do with no one man. Whenever the Most High calls us out, he says what? Judah. He says Yasharel, Jerusalem, the seed of Abraham, the seed of Isaac, the seed of Jacob. Oneness. But the only time we forget about that, the only time we, that we're not recognizing, forget about that, is when it comes down to trying to justify or politicize our children. And as we were politicized or socially engineered, it's a better way to say that, all of a sudden, one don't one means, don't mean one anymore. One means that it's got to be talking about one man, not a nation. But yet you go around calling yourself an Israelite. Israel was one man, if that's what you're doing. But it's just easy, and that's what he was saying. He said, just give them all this sorcery and plant that amongst the truth. Again, like 1 Maccabees 3 and 48. And then get missionaries, clergy, get their mama, get her husband, get his wife, get her father, get her brother. Get anybody you can get your hands on, and whenever they try to break away, grab them, hold on to them. You know what I'm saying? Disrespect them, call them crazy, call them stupid, call them tramp, call them fools, call them anything you got to do. Just throw everything at them that you got, and maybe you can guilt them into coming back. And for the most part, like the dog returns to the vomit, it's working. Hell, some never came out. And this is Leopold. Tax them. What else he was doing to them? Making them work from sun up to sundown and paying them, really nothing, just providing from them, like EBT and, Medicare and, Section 8 and, job subsidies, you know what I'm saying? Give them cheap food, pausing. He was pushing that. It's all right there in the information, brothers and sisters. And so while they're over there talking about the smallpox, they're not forgetting all about the book there's a book out there called Medical Apartheid. You see, if you weren't so busy getting ready for Thanksgiving and buying these turkeys, you would invest in something that would increase your knowledge. Maybe you ought to put that money on a tour that you can't, seem to, to figure out how important it is. You know what I'm saying? Better said, the suffer. See, some of us have. Some of us have several copies of it. Again, one of our sisters was celebrated the other day. She was very excited. I'm talking about you, Sister Teresa. She was like, Elder, I got it. I was like, praise Yahuah. Cypher.net. She wanted it. That's why she has it. But see, when you want that truth, you're going to go to that truth, and guess what? Roadkill ain't going to apply to you. Because see, you have more important things to do with your life, like where you're going to spend eternity. What are the laws and the bylaws of this book? What are the things that is expected of us? Oh, and what are the things that are not expected of us? In other words, you take your life back. You take back control of your inner self. Because your soul depends on you. And you understand that now. So when Ezekiel talks about, all souls belong to Yahuah, he's just simply saying he created them, those who have souls. He said, I don't want any of the souls that I created to die, but many will. Because many, again, they don't understand the environment has changed. And just like Satan was accusing Abraham of being selfish, where Abraham wasn't, that's evidence that Abraham was not selfish. When Abraham went to fight those 5 kings, when they had taken Lot, like he promised Lot, he said, Lot, you're selfish, you don't care about nobody but your goddamn self, but that's okay. Just get away from me. But if something happens, we family. But that only happened one time. But when Yahuah sent that fire, Abraham didn't go looking for Lot. There's no recording of that. Because by then Abraham said, nah, I got him out of that city. And what did he do? Like a dog returned back to the vomit, went right back to the past and brought the past to the present and celebrating it, lying about it, or hiding it, trying to be discreet. But they know it's wicked. Trying to conflate and trying to egg you on like, no, keep doing what you're doing. Hiding the lie. But y'all always expose it. And you're going to kill them for the lies they tell. So the second time, but when Abraham, again, went to fight the 5 kings, let's stay in sync here. When he went to fight the 5 kings to get Lot back, he met Melchizedek on the road. And no, Melchizedek is not Jesus, idiots. Just told you, it's a demon. But when he got the spoil, got everything back. He gave 10% to him, and then he said, the rest of this, give it, to other people. I don't want nobody going around talking about, some heathen made Abraham rich. Did he not say that? But where's Israel today? Looking to the heathen. When everything we need, the heathen long ago discovered that was right amongst ourselves. So what they did was gave us their New Testament and the other books to cause us, to fight amongst ourselves. To cause us to think it's okay to be alone. It's okay. I'm not talking about solitude to reset. Sometimes Yahuah will send you away for a while or move you out of an environment by yourself for a while just so that you have some time for reflection, because he has greater things he wants to do with you. So don't run from that. But in that quiet time, your time should be totally dedicated to Yahuah. Not running these streets and doing whatever you want to do and then justify it. Oh, no, I just need to be by myself. No, that's not what it's talking about there. See, again, conflating lies. Cognitive dissonance. Convenient lying to yourself because you don't want to deal with the uncomfortable truth is that you're a whore, you're a thug, you're a fool, you're an idiot, you're trash. And no matter what anybody tries to tell them or tell you, you won't listen. To the wise, what did Enoch say? To the wise, you will not listen. That's why you're going to be marked to damnation, you simple-minded. Enoch 97, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Call them stubborn, rebellious. They don't want to hear the truth. Not that truth going to cost them something. But see, Abraham wasn't like that. Abraham was a righteous man. That's a title that says righteousness is what you do. It's not what you believe or what you think. It's how you behave. Can you be submissive? Can you be led? Can you be corrected? Are you willing to be patient and just grind it out? Stick to it. Resilient. Trusting in Yahuah while you doing the things that he said to do. Can you be contrite? Can you accept contrition? Understanding that if the heathens can project their contrition on you through their wicked laws, surely Yahuah's Torah is entitled to at least be equal to that, although it's superior to anything. Because when the heathen get you, you can go to prison, and then you got out of prison. Now you didn't serve your time, but you're a felon. You didn't serve your time, but you still labeled for whatever it is you did. There's a record following you. And you accept that contrition, and when they let you go, you pay off your penalties, you pay off your debt to society. You happy, as a circus clown. But when Yahuah said, no, give me your contrition. I want you to reflect upon what you did. I want you to understand there's consequences when you do what is evil or you go against my commandments. Then you huffing and puffing like a blowfish. And that's why you're going to end up, again, roadkill on somebody's dish plate. No, Abraham gave, and he continued to give. So Satan was lying. The enemy's always going to be a liar. Again, they were born liars. If they tell the truth, brothers and sisters, you better believe it's a setup. They got something else going. That's why I tell the book, say, don't interact with them. When they show you who they are, break away, stay away if you want to be blessed. If you truly want to see Yahuah's blessings in your life, break away from the sorcerers and the sorcerers. Break away from them. Because they listen to devils. Watch this. Let's continue on. But Leopold, I'm going to put some copies of that letter in the link here. So you'll see it there. Just look down in the link and you can read it for yourself. Some of what, I've just shared. Hallelujah. And in the meantime, while I'm thinking about it, if you haven't thumbed up the message, you ought to help. But again, these are the things that, you could do without, right? Because you're not going to help. You're not going to work with the elder. You're not going to work with the messenger. No, you're just going to come. You're going to sit. You're going to listen. Some may celebrate it. Some, well, most won't share it because other than Brother Cameron and Sister Marissa, Sister Miranda, Brother Willoughby, you don't really see that going on. You can look at the past videos and see how much they appreciate the work that this prophet, this watchman is doing. You can see they don't care. But that's not going to stop the work because it's Yahuah's work. I'll get the recognition however Yahuah wants me to get it. I'll get the blessings however Yahuah wants me to get the blessings. Yahuah just find somebody better than you. But anyway, if you haven't thumbed it up, this is your opportunity to do it. But again, most of you are not going to do it. It just is what it is. And I'm not trying to hype you up. I'm not trying to manipulate. Well, he's trying to maneuver. You're a damn. See, that's your problem. You devil thinking evil. Just like Satan, you always think somebody's up to something. Because you always up to something. Don't project that mess on me. I remember when my dear sisters, when we were in a conversation and it came up and they were like really hostile. Don't be projecting. I was like, I was trying to protect that. No, you said I just seemed like that's what I was seeing, and they did not appreciate Elder for that. And they were right. See, this is where there's no pride here. What you see here is confidence. What you hear, you see a man talking. Not a he or a he, she. No, you see a man. But most of our people are not used to seeing men. They see males. We pretty much do any goddamn thing other than this particular thing. They ain't getting up. What time is it right now? 1:30 in the morning. They ain't doing it. Wherever you are, it may be 12:30. My clock is set to Eastern time for a few days. What your man doing? What your righteous brother, uncle, cousin? What are they doing right now? And they'll get, they'll be feeling, they'll be in their feelings, brothers and sisters, because I'm saying what I'm saying. But I'm the manipulator. But I'm doing the work, but I'm manipulating. You sitting on your ass talking about me being manipulative, and you ain't doing nothing. And I know you get all the attention. Everybody celebrates them because, what does Satan say here? Look at, again, Joshua chapter 22, verse 47. Look at Satan say. And said unto you, unto Satan, verse 48. No, I'm sorry, yeah. Yeah, verse 48. And Yahuah said unto Satan, so Yahuah will talk to these devils. You got a lot of these devils out there saying, well, I know Yahuah talked to me. Yeah. He does talk to Satan and devils. He just don't answer their prayers. But he'll give them ideas and inventions. He'll let them set traps for themselves. He'll let them, be a rod of correction for the wicked Israelite. Not all of us, but for the wicked. So you're not impressing us by telling us you talk to Yahuah because Satan does it. You're the equivalent of a devil. If you're going against this word, you're going against his prophet. What do you think that make you? Because you think you're right don't make you right. There's a way that seems right to a man. We talked about this already, but hey, roadkill awaits you. Just keep on staying the same old clever you. Smartest kid in a mentally challenged classroom. Never ask yourself how you got there? Maybe these will move more reflection and less talking. More listening and learning instead of running off your mouth or typing with your fingers or lying on the phone. But you won't. But that's okay, because Yahuah said you would. It was made for many, but only a few going to be saved, right? You know that. Ezra 4:8-3. But let's continue what he says the rest of 40. He says, and Yahuah said to Satan, what is the word you come to me concerning all the children of the earth? He said, what's your opinion about what the people on the earth are doing? And Satan says this. He said, I've seen all the children of the earth who serve you and remember you. when they want something from you. You know, I was talking about that in a lesson a couple of days ago in the book of Haggai, where Yahuah told Haggai, go tell Yashrael, while y'all out there building your house, you know you're neglecting mine. Strange enough, that's one of the least observed videos. Go back and look. I wonder why, because there's truth there. If you knew all the trouble that Elder went through to get that video downloaded, you would be ear hustling over there with the quickness. But see, when you don't love him with all your heart, all your mind, and all your strength, like I know a few of you do, Sister Maria, Sister A.O., Sister Jackson, Marshakara, Mariska, Deborah, Amira, Phillips, Simpson, Coke, Owens. See, I know about you because I see what you do. That's why your name comes so easily to me. Because of their consistent behavior. Jackson. I'm not talking about checking in. I'm talking about doing something. And many brothers of a few righteous so I should say many righteous brothers, same thing applies to them. Many righteous brothers, not many brothers. Same thing applies to you. But so very few. You can look at the results. Don't take my word for it. Go back and look. You know, the elder takes the time to watch me, you know, for our Wednesday night studies, brothers and sisters, just to show you the level of appreciation that Israel has for Yahuah. But you say that Satan is lying. I'll take and spend pretty much a day, maybe a day and a half preparing for the Tanakh study. And then right after that, you know, Shabbat. And then right after that, you know, a message Monday, Tuesday, whenever. And right after the Shabbat, the Tanakh study, something else. So a constant grinding. Not for me, because I'm already doing it, but for my brothers and sisters. So that we can all be blessed. We can all share in the wealth. But they take it for granted. They don't even care. You know, I hand type the precept. I have to go find the precept, read the precepts, make sure the precepts are aligned, find the purpose statement, the prologue, find the mission, study, lesson, all of that are put together, brothers and sisters. And then teach the lesson with the help of Brother Mendez. And what most of the people do, they don't even read they don't even email me the precepts, and they don't even read the precepts. And the reason I know, because I don't see them show up anywhere else. Because if you were really reading, and that word was in their hearts, brothers and sisters, there would be, as I mentioned with some of the names earlier, there would be a manifestation. There would be a change, a noticeable, obvious change. And their mind will be centered on the message, centered on the messenger, so that they, again, like they were with Abraham, get the blessings. But they rather shun that and shift it on Yahuah and just said, you know, it just ain't my season. This ain't, you know, my season coming. You know, that religious foolishness. Or even worse, lie and say you blessed. And quite frankly, you're just in a mess. They were saying, you know, you're just a pig with lipstick on. You think your makeup. You think your money. You think your little clever lies, your manipulation is going to get you by. You think that you can hustle Yahuah like he's, you know, some $2 whore. But that's the biggest mistake you're going to make in your life. And I know many of you made a bunch of them, talking that fit this description that I just identified. That's going to be the biggest mistake you ever made. You will live to regret it. Matter of fact, you will die to inherit that regret. But again, you don't care. They don't care. So all the effort Elder puts in, all the work this messenger, all the concentration this prophet gives, for the most part, it goes on deaf ears, because Israel is more concerned with putting money in bags with holes in it They'll much rather go DM a whore or go lay up with some filthy slob of a man for a dinner date, for a piece of bread, for a pocketbook, or a pair of shoes. And say you ain't no whore. Like I said, you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. Oh, yeah. And like I said before, what's the difference between an old hoe and a young hoe? Age. You got some 7-year-old tramps out there, devils, and you got some 15-year-old whores out there, devils. If you're 13, you might still have a shot. Maybe you come out of the darkness. Maybe somebody loves you enough to spend time with you before Yahuah. But then again, maybe not. But see, hell has no respect of person, brothers and sisters. Nor does Yahuah. That's why many are going to end up in hell. Because you think it's a game. You think Yahuah is playing with you because you go around playing with everybody else. The only time you're serious when you want to kill an Israelite. The only time you're serious when you want to call out an Israelite man for treacherous behavior. When the rest of the heathen nations are as treacherous as Israel is. But you don't call them out. Many the women of Zion go right over there and pull up their drawers and push like a backsliding heifer back right up on his pecker. And he treats them just like, they want to be treated. Like a hoe. You know what I'm saying? And a hoe can't be shamed. Because a hoe is focused on being entertained. Acknowledge. See me. Yeah, I see you. Satan sees you too. And by the way, whores, how you say, are unisex. According to this book, just like witches are unisex. According to this book. So you got male and female whores. And it ain't always tied down to sexual interaction that makes you a whore. How you treat Yahuah. Hosea said that. He said Israel is like a backsliding heifer. I mean female cow. Whores practicing whoredom. But of course, you don't want me to talk about it. Because you don't want to acknowledge the environment has changed. You want to say you're influencing the environment. It's all about you. Is the world a better place because your innocence is all about you? Or you just going to get your slice of the pie? So you're going to sell out for the bag. Sell out what? I ain't selling out nothing. I'm talking about your soul, fool. Damn. What did Jeremiah 5:21 says, right? This is what he said. He said, a fool don't have ears to hear. What? Hear what? You think your mouth? He's talking about the truth. He said, a fool don't have eyes to see. What you think about? Your eyes? No, he's talking about the truth. Hell, most whores don't think they whores. They think they they hustling. I ain't talking about the one on the corner. She might be legit. I'm talking about the one on OnlyFans and Instagram and Facebook. You know what I'm talking about her. On the job with her job husband. Huh. The one who lays up with the government. Huh. Chasing the government down for crumbs from his table. Exploitation without any kind of representation. But you whining and crying. Save some of your breath, because you're going to need it when you're screaming and burning in hell. Again, unisex. You can make it sexual all you want. Yahuah, when he calls out the whores in Yahshua, he's talking about male and female. When he's calling out the witches in Yahshua, he's talking about male and female. What did Samuel tell Saul? He said, you know, this rebellion is witchcraft. So, what rebellion? That's the question nobody wants to ask. It's the elephant in the room nobody wants to deal with or pretend like it does not exist. Your behavior. You don't want to deal with that. That's why when Yahuah uses his prophet to call it out, instead of you embracing it and giving contrition like you would give these heathens, if they came knocking on your door, pulled you over, summons you to court, you'd run there. Or go run and hide. Still contrition. You hide and you running. But when Yahuah says contrition, all of a sudden you shake your fist at him. Well, who are you? Who is he? I don't believe in the book. After all, Jesus gonna die for my sins. Although you're getting your ass beat or grinded to powder right now. I'm gonna meditate. I'm gonna elevate myself out of it. Yeah, right. You're gonna elevate yourself and fall right over the cliff into that pit. Talking about, you spiritualists out there. The universal God. You dummy. You idiot. God damn. Oh, you're so stupid. And it would be laughable. How can you laugh at a people who are gone mad? M-A-D. Deuteronomy 28:28 said, well, I'm going to strike them with madness, brothers and sisters. They have no more logic, inability to rationale. Why do you think they stand on these street corners with their little aprons on, like mama in the kitchen, cooking chicken pot pies, talking about, they're the 144 righteous remnant. I came back from the dead. I don't know who I am, though, but I'm one of them. I hope. That's exactly how they talk. Talking about them camps. GMS, Israel United in Christ, ISUPK, HOI, all of them. That's exactly how they talk, brothers and sisters. The mark of the beast is a tip. The mark of the beast is the Antichrist. The mark of the beast is the white man. If you don't know his name is not Yahuah, it's not Yahuah. It's not Yahuah. Get over me. You saying Yahuah, you sound just like the goddamn devil telling us, because there was no, the how you say the Hebrew letters, there was no, I, no vowels, and so I'm smart. Your regular ass is over there on that goddamn corner. Ain't got a pot to piss in, as my mother used to say, and a window to throw it out. But you got the truth. What truth you have? What truth do they have? But look at them, brothers and sisters. Only one winning for them is those at the top of the pyramid scheme that their dumb asses are part of. So I told y'all to stop following that Jason Black fool. He winning, everybody else losing. He give you a little video every now and then, hidden colors like the other little Sharik devil and the rest of them. The Bora Watchman, them little devils whitewashed. And the other one, Jason Black, he got 2 or 3 of them. Made himself rich. What you get from it? He built some billboards on the highway. I got a billboard up there. See? I call Lamar billboards, and they got a billboard right up there. Now buy my video. And your ass is run over there and do it. With no questions about it. But when it comes down to building Yahuah's house, got all the questions in the world. And that's what Satan is saying here. He said they don't care nothing about you. They only care about what they can get from you. And they won't even reciprocate. You think they at least give, a turnaround. He said they won't even do that. A reach around. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. But it's going to get called out. Because Yahuwah said, there shall not be sin in Yashrael. That's not called out. It's exactly why Isaiah 58 was written. What do you say? 58 and 1. It said, cry aloud, Spirit. Tell them about what, brothers and sisters? What? What is Isaiah talking about in 58? What is Yahuwah telling Isaiah in Isaiah chapter 58 and 1? What is he saying? You know, every now and then, a couple of the brothers, Brother Franklin, Brother Cameron, some of us get together and we'll chop it up, talk about the word. We don't talk about nothing going on. Brother Willoughby's involved in that conversation here. You know, we'll talk about when you're reading this word, you sitting down and you breaking it down like a supper, like a big feast, or you just jamming it down your mouth like a beast. And so when you realize you got to slow it down. So what is it saying? What he's saying is you tell them about the evil that goes on amongst them. You don't let it slide. You do not look the other way. You don't cover it up. He said, if you do that, then you're just as wicked as they are. I'm talking about the transgressors. And there are transgressors out there. And they can try to lie and say they don't have no transgression, you know, because Jesus then damned the whole Torah and all the word of Yahuwah that should be just burned in the fire. And then you, on top of that, which is not blasphemy, but according to them devils, Yahuwah would have to be a liar. Because Yahuwah said the Torah is forever. The Torah does not change. He doesn't change. So how could it change? He said you don't add to the book. You don't take away from the book. How could it be added to a whole New Testament attached to the book and told that it's a part of the book to wizards and sorcerers like Leopold and the Catholic Church, which really is the mother of all churches. Whatever religion you're a part of, you still Catholic. You just don't know it, but that's okay. Hey, shoot fish, wear it. But they polluted the sanctuary. That's the abomination of desolation that Daniel's talking about in Daniel chapter 12. They tell you, oh no, it's offering a red heifer, you know, in the temple, you know, next to the, you know, Islam mosque in Jerusalem. Goodness gracious, y'all believe everything you hear. If you were following us, you would see that in First Maccabees, it breaks that down exactly what that is. It's religion. That's the abomination that makes it a desolation. Israel, us, are in the church, are practicing the heathen's customs. That's what? Organized and incentivized through the church. And that's why it's like the church is a big sucker bus. Just all people go in there and they're paying into their own damnation. Celebrating with them. Now the church is a whole house and the whores don't have no place to be. Whores mad. Because of the religious whores. The religious whores putting the street whore out of business. Street whore like, damn, can a girl make $1? You niggas, y'all acting a fool in these churches. Ass all out, twerking, line dancing, sleeping with every Tom, Dick, and Jeffrey, carpet cleaning and power bottoms, and everything in between, child molesters. Some of y'all were children in the church. You didn't tell your children about your experience, your first sexual encounter. You and the pastor, the elder, you know, what they call them little wicked little women running around there. You know, with the little things on their head. I forgot, missionaries. I don't know what the hell they call them things. Evangelists, yeah. Evangelist Shirley. Shirley put all kind of grease on little Timmy. Little Timmy coming out the church, he looking all funny, he won't go take a nap, and you over there like, why this boy always tired after church? You go back there, helping Sister Tammy back. Not Tammy, because I'm going to be careful, because I don't want my dear Sister Tammy talking about, I'm not talking about you, sister. Go back there, I'm going to use another name. Use it. Oh, Naquisha. He back over there helping Sister Naquisha. Mother Naquisha. And she must be feeding him a lot of food, because when he come on, he be just want to go to sleep. He be looking kind of funny, though. She feeding him all right. He be a sex toy. Because she don't need no man. She got a little, Johnny, how you say, Johnny Earl. You got Billy Ray back there. You got Bobby Joe. She don't need no man. Some of them got Rex, Spot. What's the name of them other animals? Dogs, cats. Book says so. Hell, I think some of these damn wicked little demons, they can sleep with a goddamn rat and they'll do it. Well, I'm more sleeping with pig, and that's just a giant rat, so, or hog, so, hey, different without its extinction right there. But this wickedness has to be called out. Just like Isaiah was told, just like he's told me to do it. Ezekiel, all the prophets were told to do it. And they did it, in spite of the humiliation, in spite of being disrespected, in spite of, being lied on. Like Satan is lying on Abraham in this particular reading. Like he's lying on many of us. Say we have some other ulterior motive. This is why we're telling you about giving. No, we're telling you about giving because Yah will bless you. But I guess you don't trust Yahuah to bless you. You trust the government. Okay. I hope you brought your, your flip-flops. It's winter. You're going to need them. I'll let you think about that one for a moment. It's freezing outside. I hope you got your bikini, your bathing suit. Well, we don't wear that shit, but I'm just saying. Hope you got your linen, because it's 10 degrees outside. In other words, you're going to be waiting. That's okay. While you over there waiting on the Lord, we over here doing what he says and being blessed. And we don't care what you think about that. I'll leave that right there. I don't want to get that any more time. So he told, Isaiah said, I'm going to call it out. My job is to talk about it, whether they want to hear it or not. So get offended. That's the attitude here. Get offended. Then what happens? I'm going to unsubscribe from you. Are you serious? You sound like a 2-year-old. You know what I'm saying? That's your age, not your shoe size. I ain't quoting no damn wicked ass Prince. Prince quoting somebody else. Let's continue on here. He says, verse 52. Back to Joshua 22:52. No. Yeah. Verse 51. He said, now that your son Isaac is born, and don't forget what I said about Leopold, that stuff is going to be there. I just want to show you the danger of religion and how all people are still in religion, even though they say they're out. They're still behaving just like they were socially engineered to do it. Predictive programming at its best. And I'm going to tell you something. All these medical experimentations that they've been doing on all people for now, centuries, is now paying off for them. Because look how shiftless our people are. No get up and go. No commitment. No loyalty. No resiliency. No willingness to really be sensible and practical. Stand up and stand out by coming out and putting feet under what you believe. They're like zombies, just bugged out. Bugged out on drugs, bugged out on alcohol, bugged out on television, bugged out on social media, bugged out on just anything that could bug them out. Just bugaboos. Can't count on them for nothing. Lie like a rug. They just have no conscience about nothing. Heathens taught them well. But it's a sad, sad, sad day when the children rule over the adults, and the terrorizing that happens in our communities are by the young people in the community, and where there should be leadership in men. What are they doing? They're sitting around there trying to, work the system. The sheep is trying to think the fox. Or the sheep ends up, slaughtered. I was saying, you're not supposed to poop where you eat. You play with fire, your ass gonna get burned. You walk with these heathens, they will eventually show you who they are, and you're not gonna like it. You believe that. The melanated, and especially the non-melanated ones. And they're females, they're I'm talking about all of it. There's a few righteous stranger female, but they're stench. Daughter Zion said to you many, many times, I don't know why you would want your hair to look like their hair. Just, I don't know why you would want to emulate them in any kind of way. And I don't want to hear other stuff, but no, I don't. You better go look around and tell it to the other sisters out there. You know good and so damn well. You got sisters out there with pink hair, yellow hair, blonde hair, ass all out, stomach all exposed, tits all out. And you know good and so damn well your grandma didn't teach you nobody to dress like that. Heathens started that foolishness with their so-called feminism, Gloria, whatever that wicked, stinky, heathen, white trash. Burned up your brassiere. Poor did. So let's not get caught up in what our people don't do when you can open up your eyes and see exactly what they're doing. Satan called them out. He just got the wrong one when he picked on Abraham. So that's the mistake they tend to make too. So they think we're all the same, Brother Keith, and our Brother Lance, our Brother Tony, Brother Gorn. When they come over there, they don't realize they're going to get some real heat. See back over there? Y'all see that? I set that like that intentionally. Because that's how I see. Behind me, That's what David said. The strength of Yahuah teaching my hand to war, my fingers to fight. See back there? I'll let you know whether I'm home or on the road. I'll bring it, so you better bring it. You coming over here. But you can go on about your business and go to your little roadkill and we peace. I'm a peaceful, loving man. But you come over here with some foolishness, I'm going to send your wicked ass to the cemetery. Everything in my power. Because I don't give a shit if you're a male or a female. Come over here. You better keep that shit over there where them niggas at that you hang out with, them whores and little white trash devils and middle class and white collar little lying devils. You better stay over there with that folly. Don't come over here. I know you think, okay, don't come over here. So I'm going to tell you. You bring it. See it. Touch the fire and see if it's hot. Your ass will get scorched. You have a scar to remember that. And again, I'm a peaceful man. I'm just saying, but I know how to ratchet it up. I know how to turn this, I know how to turn the fire up. Like I can turn it down or, keep it cool. I'm a loving man. You come at me with love. But you come at me with your little lying, conniving, and when I find you out, we're done. You're my enemy. But let's go on in verse 51. He said, now his son Isaac is born of him, and he has forsaken you, lying, and has made a great feast for all inhabitants of the land, accusing Abraham of doing what our people do, looking for the next feast day, the next holiday. This is what Amos said. What did Amos say? He said, Yahuah said, I don't give a damn about your feast days. I don't care nothing about your festival days. I don't have nothing to do with that mess. That's why we were studying that just recently. It's right there in the Torah. Yahuah is saying, the day will come we will do those things again, but not now. Right now I'm looking for contrition. I'm looking for justice. I'm looking for justice. I'm looking for submission and contrition. In other words, I'm looking for the inner. I don't give a shit about your other outer foolishness. I don't care about your fringes. I don't give a shit about you talking about, there was no vowels in the Hebrew, whatever little thing they call it. And don't put it in the comment because I don't give a rat's ass about what they say. I'm just telling you this is what they believe. I don't need you to clear it up for me. I don't need you to teach me. I'm just telling you, it's a bunch of distraction. They're all working for the same. It's how you say, it's two horns on the same bull, two tips on the same hog. Sow. It doesn't really matter what they're talking about. What matters is how you live, what your heart looks like. Do you actually love him with all your heart, all your mind, and all your strength? And if you do, contrition should never be hard for you. Nor should submission, obedience, and support. Take the little wicked hands and stick them in your pocket and bring something out that's worthy to be presented before the Creator. And then maybe he will open up the window and pour out a blessing that you wouldn't have room to be able to store. But you can't embrace that because somehow or another the truth is no longer the truth because you. Tell me again. Oh, forgot. Roadkill. If it was that way then, it still got to be that way now. If they were cheating and hustling then, they got to be cheating. Well, the ones you were following, the ones your mammy and your pappy were following them, but not me. And I'm not going to let you project that on me. Again, I know what I'm doing right now, and so do you. What your pastor was doing this time of morning. Or I forgot, laying up with your auntie and your uncle, depending on what day of the week it was. In the motel. Or wherever the hell it was, the back of the car, back of the trunk. In the pastor's, what they call them little houses they have. Catholic church, they take them over in the confession booth when everybody gone and hear their confession. Okay, I'll leave that be. Anyway, let's continue on here. He says, for in the midst of all that has done, that all you have done, he's forgotten about you. Lying. Verse 52. Verse 52. For in the midst all that he has done, he has brought you no offering, neither burnt offering, nor peace offering, neither ox, lamb, nor goat, of all that he has killed on the day that his son was weaned. So what he's simply saying, he's getting things from you, but he's not giving anything back. This is what Haggai was talking about. When he said, you got your children's houses, you got your life, but what about making sure that the work of Yahuah is getting done? It's what we studied this past Tanakh, and as far as the physician, and how the physician is honored, and how the physician is here to make sure that as you're out there building cities, building a home, building for family, getting your life together, whenever there is an issue, the physician is there that can come and assist. And you can call him at 5:30 in the morning. He's going to answer the phone. Because he is set aside because of the work that everybody else is doing and putting something on the side for him. He's able to do that. So when you have a crisis, you have a serious need, you have a concern, he has the time to do it because you're creating the environment for that. That is exactly what Sirach 38 is talking about. Not only about healthy eating and healthy living and putting our trust in Yahuah, but working together with a single goal in mind. Blessings. But you have too much treachery among our brothers and sisters for that to happen. We say the small foxes spoil the vineyard. You got too many voices out there. And every time a voice that like mine comes up, There are 1,000 others come out there distracting him like our people, you know what I'm saying? Like a fat kid in the candy shop, right, little Noah? Here they go again. I want some jujubes. I want some jelly beans. I want some chewing gum. By the way, all of that's pork, by the way. For all you gum chewers out there, you eating pig. You're chewing on pork. I want to read the label. So while you chewing like a cow, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You just marinating on that pork. I don't eat no pork, but you got juicy fruit in your mouth, spearmint in your mouth, jelly beans in your mouth. Look it up. It's there. You pudding eaters too. You yogurt eaters, you too. Again, read it. Better figure this out. Wondering why you sick, because you eating, foods that's fit for dogs. Or hogs, not dog. Dog ain't gonna eat no damn jelly beans. A hog will, but not a dog. Dog got enough sense know not to eat that. He'll be throwing that up in a hot second. But give it to a pig. That's why the book called a filthy swine. Why our ancestors would never eat it. And now it's a part of the feast days, right? Got to get that ham to go with that turkey. Got to get them ribs for July. Oh, I eat the beef ribs. Okay, thank you, brother. You feel better now? Can you consider what everybody else is doing instead of you? I want you to be a help. We don't need you to over to the sideline talking about you. Because Satan is talking about you too. So you got all the stuff you doing, but where's your fruit to help the other things to get done? Right. Does not exist. But you can criticize us who put the work in. And this is what Sirach 38 was talking about. And Yah said those people, when their prayers, they pray, Yah's going to hear their prayers. When they go to the physician's going to be there to help. With real help, real counsel, real advice. Let's continue on here. Verse 52. Well, that's 53. He goes on to say, and even from the time of his son's birth, still lying. What did David say? The wicked, Psalm 58 and 3. Just put that down somewhere, brothers. Precept. Where is it? Hammer and saw. I know I got you. We always going to have the two-piece here. We could go to work. We always go to work. This is not, yes it is. We're going to go to work. We've been working now for an hour and 30 minutes. Hallelujah. We still got more work to do. There's some that say, well, if you cut down the video down, brothers, go look at the short videos and go look at the long videos and you tell me if you think you're still right. Okay? And I appreciate it. I didn't take offense to it, but again, if they're too busy to listen, then you're too busy to listen. I'm not going to slow down because of those who have some kind of, what do they call that? HDAD or whatever that call is. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They need the ones on Ritalin. The disorder. Sorry. If you can't focus, that's your problem. You can't sustain the word of Yahuah is not important enough for you to sit down 2, 3, 4 hours to hear it, then okay. That's you. Just remember that. The day of judgment just say, yeah, if you had made it shorter, we'd be good. But you took too much time. I had other things to do. I was busy. Like you can't work and listen. You do everything else. You put that hip hop and rap and other filth, it's going on all the time. And you ain't struggling with that being played. When the word of Yahuah comes, all of a sudden, you got to finesse the teacher. Well, you can't finesse this one. I'm not here for you. I'm here for Yahuah to help with his work. And maybe, those who don't have time to listen, maybe they're not a part of the work, dear brother. Okay, so I'm not offended, but it needs to be clarified. Let's continue on here. Verse 53, and even from the time of his son's birth to now, being 37 years, he built no altar before you, saying Isaac is 37 years old at this time, nor brought any offering to you. For he saw that you did give what he requested before you, but Once you blessed him, he forgot about being a blessing before you. That's why he's talking about the offering and all these different things that he's saying Abraham is not doing for the work of Yahuah. And so when you're listening to people tell you not to support the work of this, I'm just telling you who you're listening to. You do what you want to do. At the end of the day, it's your seed, right? You can plant it in good soil or you can waste it again. You know, with Walmart, who just going to take it in your money and go pay for more prison labor, which means your children. So you can get it cheap. Some people say, I wouldn't pee on Walmart if it was on fire, talking about shopping in there. I mean, it'd have to be the last way to go. And even then, I'd walk in there with my hand on my nose saying, okay, y'all, just let me get in here. Let me get out of here, because what goes on in here, you know, I know it ain't of you. Between Walmart and the church, I don't know. Well, Walmart might win, but it'd be close. Let's go on here, verse 54. And Yahuah said to Satan, have you thus considered my servant Abraham? And this is the part right here, brothers. I want y'all to think, and talking about to you, all of you, but the righteous remnant. I've been talking to everybody. Some of you, I hope this fire spills up on you. I'm not ranting and raving because I'm not in, I don't ever intend to rant and rave, but right, I'm in an environment, I'm sure everybody here is asleep, not in here. You know, again, enough of that. But I'm keeping it calm for a reason. I'll just say it to you like that. But here's what I'm going to say to you, to all of you, my brothers and sisters. I hope you're taking some time to recognize that certain events can happen in your life that has nothing to do with you being out of order. Sometimes it's just the opposite. It's a trial. It's God's putting and giving you something that you can have as not only a witness of his power and his might as to why you trust him, but also a testimony to others who may be going through or potentially will go through what you're going through. That's why in the comment section, we no longer put scripture. That's my job. What we have now is insightful men and women and young people who talk about, their learnings and things that have happened to them in their journey, giving their insight, which is extremely helpful, whether some of you realize it or not. Other people are reading your comments. My brother Davison, who's over in Papua New Guinea, I know he reads them because he's always commenting on everybody's comments. I try to read them, but sometimes it's a little bit much, like, again, it's 2:20 in the morning. See, by the time 12:30, 1 o'clock come to David, it's sleepy time for elder. So, I know last week somebody was putting some stuff out there, and one of my dear sisters, a couple of them brought to, Sisters of Zion, what I'm talking about, anyway. They were gracious enough to bring to my attention. So, there's somebody out there criticizing one of the other sisters who you told them to repent. And I commented on it. I said, well, why didn't y'all bring it? They said, because you commented on it, elder. So we assumed you were good with it. I wasn't good with it. I was just tired. But that person is in the penalty box now. If you know about hockey, go read what's the penalty box in hockey. That person's in the penalty box. Because you're not going to justify wickedness. You're not going to, no. If you're going to be contrition, you're going to do it just the way the book says you're going to do it, or it's not contrition, period. I mean, you're going to publicly bring forth fruit of repentance. Lamb, goat, ox, something. You're going to do some more than just say so. And just like you did the wickedness in openly, you're going to be contrition in openly. Why you think the book says 2 or 3 witnesses? No, you don't get to hide and say you did it anyway. Even if you did it, you still don't get to hide. So that's contrition. I mean, you take the heat. Don't want to burn later. You better take the heat. Better take the criticism or whatever it is that comes with it. The consequences, the penalty. Again, you can do it for the heathen government, but you can't do it for Yahuah. The heathen government take your ass in the court. Everybody in the courtroom listening. When it comes down to you doing your criticism for Yahuah, it's got to be, shh. I don't want nobody to know about this. In between me's and you's and Jesus. Oh, I'm sorry, God. Excuse me, Yahuah. Yahuah. What's his name again? He has no name for you, because he don't even hear your prayers. Damn sure don't hear nothing coming out your mouth in terms of repentance. If you're trying to repent the way you want, like you're going to tell the judge, well, I knew I did the crime, but I think, this is what I need to, this needs to be the penalty. They'll be looking at you like, what are you talking about? I'm saying, yeah, I'm guilty, but let me decide. I'm going to decide, what my penalty is going to be and how it's going to be applied and who's going to know about it. Who the judge going to look at you and say, bailiff, grab her by that weave. I'm sorry. That might fall out in the bailiff. Grab her by her collar and sling her ass like Hagar slung, like Yahuah slung Habakkuk into that lion's den to help Dan. He said, that thing is like a sling their ass right on in there. Sit in that jail cell. And then tell them, by the way, you got 30 years. But yeah, when it comes down to Yahuah, you want to be temperate. You want him to be temperate. No, he's going to expose your ass by coming right on out there like everyone else had to come out there and right in front of the assembly and admit what was done and accept what the prophet says was required as an offering. Y'all don't change. That's the way it's done. That's why Satan is criticizing Abraham, or implying. He's lying, but he's implying. Verse 24, and Yahuah said unto Satan, have you thus considered my servant Abraham? There is none like him upon the earth, a perfect and upright man before me, one that fears Yahuah, and he avoids evil. As I live, were I to say unto him, bring up, he said, as I live, he said, if I told him to bring up Isaac, his son, before me, he would not withhold him from me. What would you give for the work of Yahuah? If Yahuah told you to give it up, what would you give up? This is a question we all should be. See, this book is to help us. It's to be like a mirror. I wish I could turn this phone that way. Probably going to mess this up, but I'm gonna try it anyway. I don't know if this will work. What? You see the mirror? Damn, 3 of them, huh? Don't want the video. I'm messing with you. All right? See, this is the way we should be holding ourselves up to Yahuah when it comes down to the things that he is asking and require of us. Every one of us. Are you looking in the mirror, self-assessing and adjusting? Self-assess, adjust. Self-assess, adjust. Not self-assess and justify why you doing what you're doing and why you haven't changed. Again, you're going to end up like Roadkill. Environment has changed and you think it hasn't. So you're just doing the same old thing, looking for a different result. And the only result you're going to get is a slap upside the head. And a push right over into that hellfire. And it's all your fault too, by the way. Ain't nobody's fault. It ain't Satan's fault. I know you say it is. Watch this. We'll get there. Give me a minute. Hallelujah. Watch, brothers and sisters. So here's Yahuah saying here, well, you talking all that crap. All these people want to say ain't nobody righteous. You're a liar. That ain't what the book says. That's what your pastor said. Ain't nobody perfect. You're not. You're lying again. That's not what this book says. That's what your pastor. But if nobody be like Abraham, you're a damn liar. He said the seed of Abraham will be blessed. So what the hell are you talking about? But then again, you really don't know it because you repeating from the heathen, although you claim the heathen wrote this book. Well, if the heathen wrote this book would say what the heathens are saying. They had to come up with a whole new book, a covenant. And to tell you don't even read important books like Tobit and Sirach and Joshua and Ezra, the editions of Esther, the epistles of Jeremiah. They don't want you to read that. And I'm not talking about some of you out there, because as soon as I say this, some of you are going running over here and you're reading all these books, and you come on the elder, what do you think about this book? I don't have no thought about that book. I read the Torah. If it ain't in the Torah, I don't read it. I don't want no book, no Adam and Eve. I don't want no goddamn books about no, editions of this. I don't read that crap. That's you in that sorcery, not me. I've said to you before, stop it, but you won't stop it because you're in what? Can we all say it together? Come on. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Rebellion. Witchcraft. To the wise you will not listen. No. In this Torah and Tanakh. That's why we teach the Torah and the Tanakh. Hallelujah. Let's continue on here. Pulling back a little bit. I want y'all to just see. Where did the elder go? So y'all would touch this phone. I was going to do something. But anyway, let's continue on. And Yahuah said unto Satan, we've been there. Okay. Well, I'll read it, guys. Isaiah 54, Joshua chapter 22, verse 54. And Yahuah said unto Satan, have you thus considered my servant Abraham? There is none like him upon the earth, a perfect and upright man, again, before me, one that fears Yahuah and avoids evil. As I live, where I said unto him, bring up Isaac, your son, before me, he would not withhold him from me. Much more, if I told him to bring up a burnt offering before me from his flock, he would do it. And Satan answered Yahuah and said, speak then now unto Abraham, as you have said, and we will see whether he will not this day transgress and cast you aside for his own selfishness, desires. And we all know that how that story, we can read about that rest. You pick up 23. Satan got caught up in a lie, but people did listen to Satan. But because Abraham was wise, Abraham did not. And because those, like Isaac, who had been brought up the right way in the ways of Yahuah, when Isaac got into a situation, he didn't just take matters in his own hand. He went and got counseling. This is why the position in Sirach 38 is in there. The counsel, one who has the time. That's why Enoch was made king, so he didn't have to be out there laboring. So when the people needed to learn the ways of Yahuah, Enoch was able to do that because he wasn't boggled down. The people needed to be building. We have, families and we have things to own and things, to produce, brothers and sisters. Y'all gave everybody different skills, different talents. So be cultivated that it all works together, for the building of a culture, the building of a kingdom of people. That's how we're going to be in the world to come. We're going to learn here how to do that. I'm not talking about no blackety black, coming together foolishness. I don't play that. All Israel ain't Israel. I don't give a damn about the melanation of a wicked, Satan worshiping heathen fool, male or female. And if you're in church or any form of religion, I'm talking about you. Now let's get over. Now you hear, this is the dialogue that's gone through there. And I know I've shared some things already, but I want to go over to the book of Jubilees because, this whole thing about, whether or not, the devil made somebody do something. I know, again, brother Mendez, not brother Dennis Davis, brother Dennis Mendez. I've got 2 Dennises. Both of them are men that I trust. Good brothers. But anyway, brother Mendez, that Dennis, and I have had this conversation more than one time. And we talk about how these folk want to run around here, and every time they get into some folly, they want to talk about the devil. You know how grandma and your mama and your uncle, the old ones in the church, cast out Satan. We need to cast the devil. She got a devil. The devil can't cast out devils. How the hell are you in the goddamn church speaking in tongues, falling and wilding all over the goddamn floor, scaring the shit out of everybody in the goddamn church? People think you're having a goddamn seizure. The pastor sticking his ass up there, he got his head like that. He ain't trying to see what's going on with you. He's trying to see what he can see. You know what I'm saying? This look like Geno Jennings, them little old rascals back there, all of them. Am I right? Yeah, I told you she a hoe, but don't tell them because we don't, hoes gonna go to hell. Well, he gonna go to hell, right? He gonna lead the whores to hell because he ain't nothing but a whore too, a spiritual whore. I don't know why you want to call out the natural ones. Again, a difference without distinction. If you over there listen to Geno Jennings, then you a blind whole lover. Now, I know you don't like that, but you really think I give a shit about what you think? Let's go on. By now, you should know better, brother. I don't give a shit about what you think. I care about what Yahuah says. Even your children don't respect you because they know you're wicked. But you want to talk about elder. Or try to tell me about what's up. Nah, get your house straight first. And this Torah would help you do it, but you ain't going to do that. You just rather, you know. Anyway. Jubilees chapter 10, brothers and sisters. Check this out. In the third week of this Jubilee, the unclean devils began to lead astray the children of the sons of Noah, and to make them to err and destroy them. See what it says? In the third week of the Jubilee, unclean devils with an S. And this is why Brother Mendez and I talk. Brothers, if you guys think about it, just one devil. No, there's many devils. I would go for to say zillions of them. You know, the number over 1 trillion. Maybe, how you say 8 billion people on earth, but there are probably trillions and zillions of demons, devils, all over this earth. Some you see, most you don't see, but they're every bit as effective. Some of you find out the hard way because they're going to replace you, steal your soul with technology. You're going to be in the poorhouse. You're going to be out there in famine and starvation because you trusted in man instead of putting your trust in Yahuah. You're going to find out the hard way. You ain't need no man. We'll see about that. Just remember, you said that. I told you you did. And your son don't count. Where's his goddamn fruit? Well, he couldn't make it on his own, so he came home. I'm sure your wicked ass enticed him, though. Let's go on here. It said, and the sons of Noah came to Noah their father, and they told him concerning the devils which were leading astray and blinding and slaying their sons' sons. Is that not what's going on out here with the young people, brothers and sisters? Progressively worse. What's influencing them? Wouldn't be hard. Social media. Easy access. Want something for nothing. Work on a job 2 days and want to know when payday is. While they still in training. Don't know shit, but want to get paid for not knowing shit. Everybody owed them something. Never take responsibility to anything. Got to give me, you know what I'm saying? They don't want to put the effort in. They don't want to put the commitment. They don't want to put the time in. They think putting in time is a waste of time. They think being dedicated, again, is a waste of time. They think being resilient and sticking in there is a waste of time. They don't have the heart for the battle, Sister Melanie. They don't have your heart. Sister Valerie, they don't have your heart. Sister Trenda, they don't have you, Daughters of Zion's heart for the fight. Nope. They want their slice of pie because they woke up this morning. That's it. I get to eat because I'm alive. But you didn't put anything in this pot. I don't care if I didn't put anything in the pot. I still want some out the pot. You said, ain't gonna work. You don't put nothing in the pot, you don't get nothing out the pot. You want my blessing, you're going to be a blessing. Or you'll never see it. You'll get an illusion of inclusion. But at the time, like Solomon said, all vanity, all vanity, all vanity. You should have spent your time fearing Yahuah and keeping his commandments. Ecclesiastes 12 and 14, right? But let's continue on here. He said, and then the sons of Noah came to Noah their father and told him concerning the devils which was leading and binding and slaying his sons' sons. And he prayed before Yahuah and said to Elohim Yahuah of the Ruach of all flesh, who has shown mercy unto me and have saved me and my sons from the waters of the flood. This is Noah talking. Hallelujah. A righteous praying man. If you want to know if he's righteous, daughters of Zion, does he pray? Does he spend time before Yahuah? Does he help with the work of Yahuah? Or he just sitting around thinking that he's at church and he hate the pastor, so he don't do nothing more because the pastor burned him a couple of times. I'm just saying. So he's just making up excuses. Like he really want to see you fail. See, you're on the right track and he want to get you off that track. So he going to tell you, all this stuff that you want to hear, but he never really shows you how that's going to end for y'all. See, he sees a lot of sisters coming over into the truth. And what they got, these wicked husbands, I said, why are you over there? Why are you following him? What's going on with him? They never, they never say, well, he's teaching the word of Yahuah. Let me study along with y'all. Let me learn. Let me grow. I don't need nobody to teach me nothing. Yeah, I know. That's why you don't know a damn thing. And you never will, by the way. Because Yahuah is mark you for damnation. What you know, brother, look, a monkey can learn that job. And you're going to find out because a monkey may end up with it. Give it a minute. Then see what you're going to do. See if you're going to turn to Yahuah then, like Satan said you will. And a whole lot of people are going to be repenting, brothers and sisters, real soon. Just like in the days of Noah. And that's what Satan was saying, over as we just read over in Joshua. He said, they wanted that because they're getting something from you. They need you right now. But let them get what they need. They're going to forget all about you, Yahuah. I got an email from a text message from a brother who was with us a while back. And at the time, he was with us hardcore. But he was telling me, he said, Elder, I just want to let you know something you prophesied to me in my life 2 years ago has come to fruition. He said, you were right. And I could have told him, no, I wouldn't have told you that if I thought it was wrong. I'm not here to mislead us. I'm here to help us. But I'm going to be straight. I'm going to tell you like it is. And if you don't come strong, you may not be able to, to survive that heat. But if you stand in there and get tried through the fire like all of us are getting tried, then you'll see these things that I'm saying is true. Not only these things that I'm true. The book says Yahuah's position has the power to change the outcome in your life. Because Yahuah has given them that power. Not Benny Hinn lying power. No, Yahuah's strength of healing. Not a circus show. Not a performance. Talking about real results. Because it's real commitment being demonstrated. And if you go back and you look at Sirach, what it said over there, it said that all of those who believed and prayed and did what was right before Yahuah. I mean, every step of it. Honored the physician, did all those things, just like it said. Yahuah heard their prayers, which means Yahuah blessed them. And I get to hear some of the blessings. Some of you don't get to hear them, and not that you. That's why I say the comment section is there, not as a show off or to boast and brag. That's not what we're talking about. But there are some brothers and sisters out there that have real testimonies. I've said something to Sister Maria. I've said her name several times already. Sister Jackson, another one, a lot of blessings. Brother Keith, Brother Tony Goins, you know what I'm saying? The Yanceys, husband and wife, studying with us every week. Brother Franklin, guaranteed test. Brother Cameron. So this is not some, magician show over here, brothers and sisters. My name is not Balak. I'm sorry, Balaam. Yeah, he was a prophet, but he was a lying prophet. He was a false prophet. He was wicked. He could get some things done, and Yahuah would talk to him too, by the way. So just because you think Yahuah is talking, he might talk to you, but that don't mean you blessed. So that's where it gets confusing at for many of you. You think because you hear Yahuah's talking you, the talking that he's probably telling you is you talk too much and you need to repent. But you overtalk him like you try to overtalk everybody because you don't want to deal with, your behavior. You don't want to do, what is right. You don't want to correct the wrong. You just want it to be forgotten. You want it to just be, swept under the carpet. It don't work like that with Yahuah. It don't work like that with the heathen man system of justice. It damn sure wouldn't work for Yahuah, who created man. So think about it before it's far too late. But anyway, so here's Noah praying to Elohim Yahuah. He said, "You have shown me mercy, shown mercy unto me, and have saved me and my son from the flood, and has not caused me to perish as you did the sons of perdition," which is the sons of wickedness. People doing whatever you want to do. People, Yahuah said, come from out. Don't learn the ways of these. Don't practice their feast days, their holidays, their celebrations. He said, also don't get caught up in their familiar spirits, their necromancy, their wizardry, their witchcraft, their enchantment. Praying to familiar spirits, praying to the dead, like, the one that supposedly rose from the grave on the third day. So you don't do any of those things. But that's Israel right over there doing it. But saying, I ain't do nothing. I ain't do nothing. Well, you did something. You just marked maybe for damnation and you can't see it anymore. Or maybe because you're doing what you want to do instead of coming and learning to understand what you should be doing, which is just as bad. And you're not going to get away with it. Y'all don't give grace for ignorance. He said the people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Back, we'll go read Hosea 4:6. God's not looking the other way because you chose to look the other way. That's on you. Roadkill. Keep on going out there. Environment change, you not changing. Knowledge increase, but yours still the same. You ever talking about grandma or somebody taught you something? Well, they taught you wrong if they didn't teach you to be submissive, teach you not to tell lies, teach you to, to keep your damn dress down and your drawers up. Keep your pecker inside the zipper, except she belonged to you. Now, you didn't learn well, or you learned from a witch or a wizard. And a whole bunch of them out there. Still talking. Yesterday's grandma is here today. I said that, and we said it again. Yesterday's grandma is many of you. Yesterday's grandpa is many of you. And some of you, sooner than later, well, I don't think it's going to be later. I leave that off because, brothers and sisters, we down to the wire here with judgment. It's getting close. I am not going to sit there and tell you your children are going to be grown up. They may live to get older in Yahuah's kingdom. I'm not saying, my little, the little 9-year-old daughter, what I'm saying? She'll know who I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about, her who mother loves Yahuah and teaches her, not only homeschools her, but teaches her the ways of Yahuah. I'm not talking about the little 7-year-old brother. We all know little Noah, not all of us, who mother does the exact same thing. And of course, elder is a part of his learning. See, she's sitting with her mom, he's sitting with his mom today, listening to this message. Where are your children today? On Shabbat, where are your children? It's too heavy for them. No, it's not. Y'all word is not too heavy for anybody. As a matter of fact, let's go over here. I'm coming back to this because we need to kill that elephant in the room. They say something. He doesn't want to acknowledge the elephant in the room. I'm about to shoot him. I'm going to take that ivory. Do something with it. He seemed to want to just fight and kill. I'm going to take it and do something better than that. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 5 says this. Verse 6. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 6 says, "And these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children." So where are your children at? This is Yahuah talking to Moses to tell Yasharel. No exceptions. No, it's too heavy for them. No, it's too much. I know. I just want them to, get a little older. You're in folly, man. You're in wickedness, sister. You are in rebellion. That's what I was talking about over here. We're talking about the children of perdition. That's you. He said, you shall teach them diligently your children and talk to them, again, your children, when you sit in your house. Where you at today? And where are your children? I already told you what his young daughter of Zion is and his young brother of Zion is. And he goes on to say, when they go to bed, when they get up, you bind them on the walls, you put them, the sticky notes all over the place. Some of my brothers and sisters are actually doing that. It's a wonderful thing for me to see that. I see a person like that, I trust them. If a daughter of Zion, a mother of Zion, if you raise it, even if they went astray later on, if you put that work in and you know you did the best you could with them, then you have my respect. I know Yahuah will not forget what you did. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they go astray and we looking at it like, and we still love them. And, we kind of between, we just don't really know how to feel about it sometimes. But I'll say this, just remember 2 Chronicles chapter 19. Let's go there real quick. I just remember this. And this will help you. Because there are those moments in time where, it could get a little difficult when it comes down to family. Nobody's questioning that, least of all me. But look at this, 2 Chronicles chapter 19. And Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, returned to his house in peace to Jerusalem. And Jehu, the son of Hananiah, the seer, which is a prophet, went out to meet him and said to the king, Jehoshaphat, should you help the wicked and love them that hate Yahuah? Again, should you love the wicked and help them and love them that hate Yahuah? The answer is absolutely not. No, we shouldn't be doing that. He goes on to say, therefore is my anger upon you from Yahuah. Nevertheless, there are good things found in you, in that you have taken away the Asherah poles out of the land. Oh, you got rid of all those idols out your house. You didn't let your children grow up, with the internet in their hand. You didn't let them participate in school programs. Matter of fact, you taught them to speak up in the school programs. And the teacher had to tell you that, them days, don't let your child come to school because your children got all the other children scared because they said that you said that all children who practice Halloween going to hell. And your daughter went to school and said it. Good job, mama. So he's talking about you. He said because you have gotten rid of all those things, and he said, and you have prepared your heart to seek Yahuah. And Yahuah dwelt in Jerusalem, and he went out again to the people. And so what he's really saying, Yahuah is saying to him that I remember what you did. So otherwise, you'd be done. So what I'm saying to some of my brothers and sisters, what I'm saying, even though, you're going through these things, with family, just understand you're going to have to cut them loose. They don't love Yahuah. You're not supposed to be interacting with them. My brother in Denmark, him and I were talking the other day, and he was talking about some things that he's doing to try to get their attention. And we had very good conversation. I was very impressed with his articulation and his understanding and the work that he's putting in to try to get their attention. But I told him at the end of the day, you might just have to cut them off, my brother. Just got to cut them off. All you can do. Save you can't go down with a sinking ship. Ain't no heroes on no sinking ship. Just a bunch of drowned people. Let's go back over to the book of Jubilee. Just want to give some insight there. Verse 3. And he prayed, we've read that already. He said perdition, well, in the middle of 3. For your grace has been great towards me. This is what Noah is saying to Yahuah. And great has been your mercy to my soul. He said, let grace be lifted upon my sons, and let not wicked spirits rule over them, lest they should destroy them from the earth. And he's saying that these wicked spirits, y'all want to know what they look like? How you can know? See, Many of our brothers and sisters are dealing with wicked spirits around us all the time. A lot of you say, well, I don't know nobody, Elder, who's dealing with no wicked spirit, no demon spirits. I don't really know anybody. I know they got some people like that, Elder. My cousin Janice, she be in the crack house, I guess we better not be talking about what cousin Janice do, right? But anyway, that being said, there are many devils around us. And, I wrote it down. I talked about it last week. I don't know how many guys took any time to really think about it, but I did share it. I'll share it again. Who are these people that Noah is talking about listening to these devils? This is their behavior. They're drunkards. They're bitter. They're jealous. They're selfish. They practice abominable behavior like homosexuality. They're murderers. They're thieves. They're damn sure liars. They're pagans. They celebrate these heathen holidays, their feast days, their birthdays, their festivals. They're witches and warlocks. They're necromancers praying and talking to the dead, enchanters, spell casting, looking at Harry Potter, putting Harry Potter in front of their children, sword and sorcery, all that kind of wickedness. They failure to follow direction, which means they're rebellious. They can't, be submissive. They're charmers, using false objects and other things, trinkets and bracelets and rings and other things, to bring in certain powers in their life. Buddha, Krishna, all this meditation stuff they do, with Hinduism and Buddhism and, all these other, universal, gods that they claim exist, which is a lie, nothing but devils talking to their asses. Religious ones and any religions, the sorcerers, these are the false teachers and those who follow them. Obviously, the cowards, those that flee when no one is pursuing them. They run off because they heard the truth. Those are some of the devils and the behaviors that the devils are teaching Israel. And that's not all inclusive. That's just probably the tip of the iceberg. They don't have time for Yahuah. Them. It's an inconvenience for them to show up. If they do show up, they grudgingly show up. They want to do their contrition in the dark. It ain't working. Not going to work. Y'all didn't hear yet. That's not contrition. Sorry. Verse 4, it says, but do bless my sons that they may increase and multiply and replenish the earth. Verse 5, and as you know how your watchers, the fathers of these spirits, acted in my day, talking about the ones in Enoch chapter 7 that came down here and slept with women and produced the giants, the blue-eyed devils, the natural blonde hair ones, them. The babies, all of them. Watch when these things grow up. Y'all going to destroy most of them anyway, but look at the ones that have grown up. Look what they're doing. Just look around. The Zuckerbergs. The Brad Pitts. Look at them. Look at them eyes. Tell them, you know what I'm saying? That's the eyes is a peephole into the soul. Well, I'll tell you, the eyes is the peephole of the soul less. Why they don't care about nothing but themselves. They lie, they connive, they cheat, they steal, they manipulate. But then they come before Yahuah like, Satan does, and, want to listen in. So you can spot them. So you know the watchers, the father of these spirits, how they acted in my day. And as for these spirits which are living, imprison them. And as for these spirits which are living, say they're not gone, they're still here, brothers and sisters. That's why I say there's zillions of them. Most of, unfortunately, you are listening to them. Talking about all these other things you do. And this thing here becomes the last thing, talking about here. Too busy. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to you're not going to commit yourself to this. No. This is like a side hustle for you. But you want to be blessed, though. Or maybe Yahuah is going to bless you like it's his side hustle. So in your day of necessity, just understand that Tobit said it clearly in Tobit chapter 4, verse 11 said it clear. In your day of necessity, Yahuwah said, I ain't going to be there for you. You'll call on me, but I ain't going to answer you. In your day of necessity. So I've been merciful to you. I've been kind. I've been tolerant of you. But you've done nothing to reciprocate it. You talk about it. You sing about it. You dance about it. But the one thing you not or won't happen is you doing something about it. Verse 6 says, let them not rule over the spirit of the living, for you alone can exercise dominion over them. And let them not have power over the sons of the righteous from henceforth and evermore. And they don't have power over the righteous, brothers and sisters. Some of you I've mentioned once or twice now. So when you read Isaiah, when he says no weapon formed against you going to prosper, this is what Noah's talking about. Isaiah probably read Jasher too. He said, I remember that. Well, Yahuwah was talking to Isaiah, of course, as he's interacting with Noah. The watchman, the leader, the one that it ain't the sons of Noah talking to Yahuwah. It's not Noah's sons talking to Yahuwah. It's Noah talking to Yahuwah. The blessing going to come through Noah. Y'all's not going to have confusion. That's the church. That's religion you're talking about, where everybody hearing something. From devils, with an S, yeah. But Yahuwah has an orchestra. He says he has a hierarchy or structure that he works from. Some over 1,000, some over 100, some over 50, some over 10. He has infrastructure. He has a way, a perfect way. And he's not going to abdicate that because you want him to. Because you say so. Again, like I said many times, you could be talking to Yahuwah, but he ain't hearing your prayers. He may be warning you in that conversation you're having. I could have got killed, yeah, because your air was up to wickedness. That's why you got exposed. You expose yourself. How about that? And keep it clearing up, the confusion. That's how we got to deal with them, brother. Say, praise Yah, you had them expose themselves to us. Thank you, Yahuwah. For a minute there, I thought, it was me. Let's go on here, brother. So verse 6, verse 7. And Yahuwah Almighty bade us to bind all. And the chief of those spirits, Mastema, came and said to Yahuwah, Creator. See, Satan respects the Most High. See, all you so-called devil worshippers, like I said earlier, I don't know where you're going with this. Shit. The devil will fire you. You're so wishy-washy and uninformed. You're like, what are you talking about? I ain't tell you to follow me. I ain't tell you to glorify me. I ain't tell you to learn about me. What are you talking about? Watch. Let some of them remain. This is the head of those fallen watchers. Let some of them remain before me, and let them hearken to my voice, and do all that I shall say unto them. Talking about these evil spirits, them devils. For if some of them are not left to me, I shall not be able to execute the power of my will on the sons of men. And that's why I see a lot of our brothers who think they're talking to Yahuwah, or think Yahuwah's talking to him, and you talking to devils. You just don't know it. You think it's Yahuwah talking to you, sister. He ain't talking to you. I told you already. He coming to his prophet, whether you like it or not. He ain't looking for your approval. He ain't asked your opinion. He gave you a Torah for which he's going to hold you accountable to. And you don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. But you will suffer the consequences for being rebellion or being rebellious towards it. But let's continue on. He says this. He said, they will be not able to execute the power of my will on the sons of men. What he says? But these are for corruption and leading astray before my judgment. For great is the wickedness of the sons of men. I just told you some of these behaviors. He said, great is the sons, their wickedness. This is the demon saying how wicked men are. Remember, Satan said the same thing in the book of Jasher as related to the sons of men, the children of men. He said they're only going to use you, Yahuwah. They only want what they want. Whether they sick or they dying or they got some kind of illness or disease, or they lost their job, or or whatever, something about to lose something they value, a child, maybe a parent. But he said it's the only time they gonna come to you. They run into these churches at funerals, and everybody all sad and grievous, and everybody in there, they're all humble now, they all meek, because they're ass scared. But then as soon as they walk out the church, they going out there right back to where they left from. Ain't no power in that mess. That's demonic. He goes on to say, I shall not be able to execute my will on the sons of men, for these are for corruption, talking about these demons, leading astray before my judgment. For great is the wickedness of the sons of men. Then he goes on to say, and he said, let a tenth part of them remain before him, and let 9 parts descend into the place of condemnation, talking about these demons. And one of us shall command that we should teach Noah all the medicines, for he knew that they would not walk in uprightness, nor strive in righteousness. What is he saying there? He's saying that you would say, I better give these devils physicians, talking about doctors, not Yah's physician, medical people, because they ain't going to do what's right. So they're going to end up, so the food of the earth ain't going to help them, because they don't want to eat the food of the earth. And even if they did, I'm not going to bless them, because they're in wickedness. So you better teach them how to use some kind of other, pharmaceuticals to give them the illusion of healing. This is what's going on right there, just so you understand what you're reading. It goes on to say, so you better teach them. Let's teach Noah how to teach them how to do that, because they're gonna be, they're gonna have to know something, because they're not gonna obey me. In other words, he's saying they're not gonna obey you, Yahuah. So he said, let's get Noah. Call Noah. Come here, Noah. They're going to show you some other things. So if you want to know where your so-called medicine that's not food comes from, right here. Now you're learning, right? That's why we teach, inform, and educate here. So that's why we take our time, so we can hear from Yahuah, not rushing through because you're in a hurry. He goes on to say, and one of the commands, and he commanded that we should teach Noah all their medicine. Whose medicine? The heathens, the demon medicines. Not Yahuah's medicines. All their medicines. Get that clear. For he knew that they would not walk in uprightness, nor strive in righteousness. That's why most of our people are sick. Why many of you out there are sick. That's why you have to go keep up your prescription. That's why the farmers, why the Walmarts, not the Walmarts, the Walgreens and the CVS, Rite Aids, why you think they all exist? All because of wickedness. Got to get that, the chemical stuff. Poison. Because of the rebellion of Yasharel. You want to listen to the, to the sons of the fallen. The devils. What you going to do when the medicine runs out? Because that's coming. I don't know if you're paying attention to what's going on with China. China pulling out. China, for as importing certain medication to America, I think it's somewhere like 25-40% coming out of China. Might be higher than that. Those counters about to dry up. Talk to you many times, brothers and sisters, about losing some weight. You sit around here with a pot gut. What's your problem? What you doing with a pot gut? I'm talking about a belly slopping all over the place. I got to eat 3 meals. And you look like a pot-bellied pig. So I know you're insulted, but at least I told you the truth. That man over there that tell you, no, baby, you look good. He's just trying to grease you up because he want to keep you down. I said to you, he don't care nothing about how big you are because he's trying to control you because he knows that you already having some kind of insecurity issues about your weight because you're always talking about it. Or you one of them dumb and say, shoot. When that medicine gone, let's see what you're going to do. Because you already allow your body to go because you didn't take care of yourself. So sooner or later, You're going to need that medicine, and you're going to find out they how you say, they lathered you up, psyched you out, BS you, and told you don't be healthy. It's okay to be overweight and look all sloppy. You know, if a man got a problem with the way you look, then he can, you know, kick rocks. He will, but you're going to eat dirt. I say he will kick rock because he ain't going to want you, not one that's not a righteous remnant. Now, if you're a work in progress, doing something about it, that's different. I ain't talking about you, sisters. But if you miss sassy mouth, somebody just got to take you as you are. Why? Because you say so? Okay. Well, according to the book of Isaiah chapter 3, say you're going to be eating dirt. And later on, you're going to be 7 of you who are going to be begging a man that you claim, you know, you don't want, or what you would never do. You're going to be doing it then. You better watch Life and Death and the Power of Time. I advise you not to be saying about what you wouldn't do, sister. Yahuah has a way of making you eat them words, the hard way too. Put enough pain on you, you'll change your mind. The book says so. Already written about you. The righteous daughters of Zion praise you, or it's don't apply to you. Not the torment. Because you're obedient. And whatever Yah's Torah says do, you know you're going to do it. You don't fight with that. They told Noah, told him, I better teach Noah how to use medicine because they're going to need it. Verse 11, and we did according to all the words and all the malignant evil ones who were bound in the place of condemnation, and a 10th part of them were left that they might be subject before Satan on this earth. They're still here, brothers and sisters. They were all not binded up under the earth. A tenth of an innumerable number. How many is that? A number that can't be counted. What's a tenth of a number that can't be counted? They're still here causing mayhem. But like he said, you know, don't get mad at us. The people want this. And that's what he was saying. He said, why you do, you know, he said, the men on this earth, they want to do evil. He said, why are you blaming us? He said, yeah, you know, we're wicked. He said, there ain't no question about that. He said, but these men are evil. These women are evil. They've been taught by witches and warlocks, heathens, beasts of burden, the fallen seed, Neanderthals, brute beasts. That's who the Neanderthals are, brute beast, brutish, male and female. They're not natural to the earth. That's why everything that's natural to the earth destroys them. Gotta give me some suntan lotion. Better give me some shades. Better give me some contacts. I can say more to that, but I don't need to. Goes on to say here, verse 12, and we explained to Noah all the medicines of their diseases together with their seductions. That part. Seducing spirits. Sorcery. That's what all the pharmacy is about. All the pharmaceuticals is about. Legal and illegal ones. If there's any, there shouldn't even be a distinction between legal and illegal drugs. That's silliness. That's for children. That's how the government rips people off. Well, marijuana is a crime. You go into jail. Then somewhere down the road, marijuana is legal. You can open a shop and get rich. Get it? Powder cocaine, we'll give you a few months in jail. Crack cocaine, we're going to give you about 30 years. For a tenth of the amount that the powder cocaine in weight was. There's some wickedness around how that works, because the powder cocaine, if they thought this is the rich man, or better said, I just call it shit what it is, it's the white man's drug, the powder. The crack cocaine, on the other hand, well, that's what they threw into the inner cities. and hook some of your mamas and daddies and some of your grandparents on. Some of you still doing it. Let's not forget the opioids, heroin, and everything else in between. The marijuana that many of you are smoking, and it ain't the marijuana that Bob Marley was smoking. Just to give you something to compare and contrast. He said it was the herbs of the field. He meant herbs. He meant it literally was just that. Stuff you smoking, that's chemical laced. PCP, angel dust, embalming fluid dipped in it. Who knows what else is. Just saying. He said, the stronger the better, Elder. Yeah, I know. Closer to hell you will be. Your days are numbered. He said, this is what the rebellious do. And then he goes on to say how he might heal them with the herbs of the earth. So there was a choice. So you can do it the right way, the herbs, but here you do it the wrong way, you're going to have to go see your doctor. Two positions out there. The ones who get paid to practice on you, their sorcery. And then there's the righteous one, who you're supposed to be honoring and helping, that will give you the things that you need to be well eternally. You don't have to keep coming back again and again and again, renewing the prescription. Which one do you think is the most important for you? Because what you do is your answer. The choice you make is the choice you made. And then Noah wrote all these things in a cipher, spelled C-E-P-H-E-R, in a cipher, as we instructed him concerning every kind of medicine. And thus the evil spirits were precluded from hurting the sons of Noah. So Noah's family got spared because of Noah. Because they listened to him, not because they were just his children. And then he gave all he had written to Shem, his eldest son, who he loved him exceedingly above all of his sons. So Noah had favorites. Just like Jacob had favorites with Joseph and Benjamin. Mainly Joseph. Nothing wrong with having a favorite. What's wrong is when you treat them differently. That's where the problem comes in. Except one's earning and the other ones aren't. I mean, if one is earning, the other one, then there needs to be a clear distinction. We don't give to the wicked. We don't encourage wickedness. Verse 15, and Noah slept with his fathers, and he was buried on Mount Labor in the land of Ararat. 950 years he completed his life, 19 jubilees, 2 weeks and 5 years. But Noah died at, 50 years old. Wow. In his life on the earth, he excelled the children of all men except for Enoch. The same book of Enoch, the same Enoch. They want to tell you, brothers and sisters, don't read it, don't exist. It's not true. But they'll tell you they believe in Noah. But Noah believed in Enoch. Yahuah said that Noah was a righteous man, but he did not surpass Enoch. He was not more righteous than Enoch was. See, now you're learning, right? You're understanding better. So when we teach from the book of Enoch, you can actually learn over here with us. If you're here for the first time, that brother and sister will tell you, we've been teaching out of Enoch for years now, and we get it right. And we don't hit the road, oh, what about Enoch for it? See, that's that. There you go with that old jive talk. There you go again. Slick Street, Slick Willie. Slick Millie. Slick Millie and Slick Willie. Here y'all come again. Can y'all just keep going? Just don't stop. You're not invited. You're not welcome here. So can you go on? You're not on your own, because if you don't, we're going to run you off. So make it easy on yourself. So no, we ain't talking about a whole bunch of additions of nothing. We're talking about the one that's in the site. And for Enoch, he was ordained for testimony to the generations of the world, so that he should recount all the deeds of generation unto generation until the day of judgment. why Enoch 105 ends the way it ends. Splendor and royalty, but also with torment in death and fire and burning and misery for many others. Enoch 105 talks about that. And here it is in Jubilee talking about Enoch. What Enoch taught men. Who are those who want to learn the ways of Yahuah? Let them come and hear Enoch. And the people supported Enoch so he could do his job, so that they can learn and have peace and blessings. Just like Noah was able to go before Yahuah, because Noah's sons, I guarantee, were making sure Noah had what he needed to do the work of Yahuah. He goes on to say, verse 18, and then the 3 and 30th Jubilee, the first year in the second week, Peleg took himself a woman whose name was Lum. And we can skip through that, because that's not a, let's go back, come on down a little bit. We're going to pick back up at verse, let's see, brothers and sisters. No, let's go back. I don't want to miss this. This is important. The little part, right, verse 18, just kind of talk about, it's just chronicalizing, but it does, let's just read it. And in the 3 and 30th Jubilee, in the first year in the second week, Peleg took himself a woman whose name was Loma, the daughter of Sinah. And she bore him a son in the 4th year of the week. And he called his name Ruel. For he said, behold, the children of men have become evil through the wicked purpose of building for themselves a city and a tower in the land of Shinar. Now I want you all to remember this. I talked about this not long ago, brothers and sisters, where I was saying that a lot of our people are looking at all this building and stuff and going on. They're looking at Turner, builders, Turner Industries, and all these other big corporations. And nothing can't be wrong. Because look, Turner building a new building here, and this company is building a new building there. And look at the highway. They wouldn't be doing all that stuff if something was wrong. Wrong. Yes, they would. Yes, they would. And just like the people were deceived building that tower and doing all that work, thinking that they were being constructive and life was going on and they were prospering, they were wrong too. Just like right now, many of you who are getting caught up in the sorcery of letting them give you the illusion that nothing is wrong. Again, roadkill. Nothing has changed. The environment is still the same. Well, nothing new to see under the sun there. And just as it happened, that I'm about to read, it's going to happen again. So don't get all caught up, brothers and sisters, of all the new buildings coming up and the new houses and new suburbs and new subdivisions. That's what the heathens do. That's a part of the game, to get your money. Have you invested in that instead of investing in what you ought to be investing in, things that's going to strengthen your soul? You saving enough to give to the heathens. And they're more than willing to take it and let you miss a few, mortgage payments. You're gonna find out real fast that was fool's gold. Should have put your trust invested in Yahuah's work. Well, anyway, they were building, so nothing new to see. So when you see all this building going around, brothers and sisters, don't let that be a distraction to you. Don't let that slow you down, make you second guess. It's sorcery. And the people who are doing it, they don't know they're in sorcery. That's how sorcery works. The top people know. But the low-level ones, they don't know. If their name is on the company, they probably know what it's all about. But all those who are working in there, they're going to just use them up. They die, they'll get another one. They quit, they'll just get another one of you. So important. It's just a means to an end for these wickedness, for these demons. Verse 20, and they began to build. And in the 4th week they made brick with fire, and the brick served them for stone. And the clay, which they cemented them together, and was as asphalt, which comes out of the sea and out of the fountains of the water in the land of Shinar. And they built it 43 years they were building. And its breadth was 203 bricks. And the height of it, the brick was 1/3 of one. And the height amounted to 5,433 cubits and 2 palms. And the extent of one wall was 13 stads, and of another 30 stads. In other words, they were just skyscrapers and stuff, brothers and sisters. Verse 22, and Yahuah said unto us, behold, they are become as one people. This is why they're trying to get the United Nations came into play. the World Economic Forum. This was all this stuff about. No kings, that foolishly they playing with Trump. No kings. Ain't nothing but a game. The Democrats, the right hand, and the Republicans the left hand, and they're the suckers in the middle. Trying to figure out the shell game that's going on before them. I know it's under that one wrong. Again. Verse 22. I'm talking about you consistently wrong. You keep missing the mark. And you're never going to hit the mark because it's a moving target. It's a shell game. It's there to give you the illusion that everything is good when it isn't. That's why they building their houses underground, got you building your houses above the ground. You make that make sense. If you can. Verse 22, and Yahuah said unto us, behold, there is one people, and this they began to do, and now nothing will be held from them. Go to, and let us go down and confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech, and they may be dispersed into the cities and nations, and one purpose will no longer abide with them until the day of judgment. You see how you just broke them out, dispersed them everywhere. That's how they ended up all over the place, all over this flat earth. And he confounded their language, and they no longer understood one another's speech, and they ceased men to build the city and the tower. And that's coming. They're going to do some kind of white flag, brothers and sisters. They're going to blow up something big, mark it. Or they're playing with these weathers. There's all this stuff they're manipulating weather. That weather going to play a rule. This weather pattern stuff they're playing is going to play a cruel, rude trick on them. And everybody who are living like on the East Coast and all these areas, you better, don't be surprised one day you look up and you got 500-foot tsunami coming at you. I don't care where you are, California, Gulf Coast states, East, Northeast, Carolina, don't matter. Florida. This is one time being inland, it's going to be probably a very good idea. But you ain't going to do, most of the people ain't going to do nothing, brothers and sisters. They'll hear the word, but they ain't going to obey nothing. They'll hear me, but they're not going to listen to me. Like I told Yahuah, we could have been guiding ourselves together, but most of you will come, sit, but you don't want to help. You don't want to do anything. So few of us helping. We're moving at a snail's pace. When right now, we need to be moving at a greyhound's pace. But that's okay because Yahuah going to intercede anyway. So I'm not saying it's in the hands of men. But I'm just saying Yah is looking. Like he told Moses, what you got in your hand, how you using it. First of all, for the people. And secondly, as he commands you to. I'm talking about the righteous, remember. I'm not talking about no wicked. You do it for the righteous, not for the wicked. Verse 23, and Yahuah descended, and Yahuah descended, and we descended with him to see the city and the tower which the children of men had built. All these towns, all these cities, all of these, investment all over the world. Talking about progress to buy all those places. And he confounded their language, and they no longer understood one another's speech, and they ceased to build the city and the tower. And for this reason, the whole land of Shinar is called Babel, because Yahuah did there confound all the language of the children of men. And from this they were dispersed into their cities according to the language and their nation. Now you're talking about the sons of men everywhere. Talking about the children of Noah, Shem, Japheth, Ham. Real people. Not Israelites. Just real people. And Yahuah sent a mighty wind against the tower and overthrew it upon the earth. And behold, it was between Asher and Babel and the land of Shinar, and they called the name Overthrow. And I guess now we know where overthrow comes from. In the fourth week, in the first year, in the beginning thereof, in the 34th Jubilee, where they dispersed from the land of Shinar. And Ham and his sons went into the land which he was to occupy, which he acquired as his portion in the land of the south. And Canaan, Now these are the other sons of Ham. And Canaan saw the land of Lebanon, of Mizraim, or Egypt, which is another son, Canaan, Egypt, and that it was very good. And he went not into the land of his inheritance, but went to that which is south. And he dwelt in the land of Lebanon, eastward. So we know they were melanated people, not what's over there right now, if that's the true place. The maps have been changed, so who's to say? But let's just say, for the sake of saying. And westward, we know whoever they are, they ain't the right people. From the border of the Jordan that's supposed to be there, into the border of the sea. And Ham, his father, and Cush, and Mizraim, and his brother said unto him, have you settled in a land which is not yours, in which you did not fall to us by lot? Do not do so. For if you do so, you and your sons will fall into the land of the accused. And he's talking about Africa, or what we call today Africa. Through sedition. For by sedition have you settled, and by sedition will your children fall, and you shall be rooted out forever. That's why Trump called Africa a bunch of shit countries. He knows what's in this book. He said they cursed over there for stealing from us. So before you get all hot in heaven and say, why he calling them? Because they stole from you, Shem. Verse 31. And why I say Shem, because y'all know the bloodline. Dwell not in the land of Shem, for to Shem and his sons did it come by their lot. And cursed are you, and cursed you shall be, and cursed shall you be beyond all the sons of Noah, by the curse by which we bound ourselves by an oath in the presence of the holy judge, talking about Yahuah, and in the presence of Noah, yours called, his called. That's why you see, y'all has always gonna have somebody under him, brothers and sisters, one person that he's gonna funnel everything through. Our father, but he would not hearken unto them, and they dwelt in the land of Lebanon, from Shamat to the entering of Egypt, and he and his sons unto this day. So I tell my brothers, talking about running over there to Africa, if that is the true place, that's a mistake. And then not look at Africa. Come on, be serious. I don't care how many minerals they have and how they're the youngest nation. Why they're the youngest nation? Because all the elders are killed off because they're under the curse. And them young ones get killed off too. Because everybody's wicked as the sun is hot. That's why they're going to burn in hell. The witchcraft and sorcery and voodoo and all that kind of mess they're doing over there. Religious to the letter aura. The epitome of religious. What's his name? Leopold did his job well. Teach them to lie, teach them to believe in us, and they'll be there doing it years and years and years and years and years and years later. And he was right. Africa is full of religions. Non-denomination, Pentecostals, Catholics, full of it. Verse 32, but he would not hearken unto them. In verse 34, and for this reason that land is named Canaan. That's why when Yahuah told Joshua to go to the land of Canaan and take it back, because it was rightfully ours in the first place. See, but if you don't study the word, our brothers, you get disillusioned. You would say, well, why did he go take the land from them? Was that fair? No, Yahuah said it was y'all's in the first place. Just like here in this country, where they came through, like I said earlier in this message, slaughtered the Native Americans, slaughtered those of us, all the Aboriginal people here, and stole the land and said, now it's their land. If you go back and look at that the 1828 Webster Dictionary, it says what? American. It says this is the true definition of American. The Aboriginal copper-colored, see that color? Copper-colored Aboriginal people who were here before the Europeans. That means these wicked little Trumps and all of his little cronies, the FAFO, all them little heathen devils. I'm saying all of them who claim America is their country. The Ben Shapiro's, every last one of them is the Tucker, all of them devils, blue-eyed, brown-eyed devils, lying, claiming this land is theirs. But even their own Ones who, journalists, those who, the educators, for lack of a better word, says that it wasn't. Now, you get a dictionary today, you find American, it's going to say something totally different. But you get one from the year 1828, it's going to tell you it was us, that they came here. They're the immigrants. They're the foreigners, not us. So when they run that time, go back to Africa, you tell them, kiss your ass, take your mama, take your little regular ass, and y'all go back where y'all came from. And then what we do, come in and start, again, like we were told to do in the book of Joshua, learn how to work under authority, leadership, infrastructure, do it the right way, let that pride down, stop talking about, I want to be, just be the best of what you can be, and we can pull it back together. It's going to happen in the world to come anyway. But those who are going to be with us over there, they're going to learn well right here. So if you want to have 24 children or 1,000, that Yahweh will bless you because you deserve it. You've earned it. Hallelujah. Many of us are earning it right now. Keep, how you say, keep doing our part. And many of you are helping with it. So praise not. Some of you are helping with it. I ain't going to say many because that'd be a lie. Not true. But a few of you are. And Yahuah sees it. Hallelujah. And I sure appreciate it. Verse 35. And Japheth and his sons went towards the sea, and they dwelt in the land of their portion. And Madai saw the land of the sea, and it did not please him. And he begged a portion of Elam and Asher and Asparhad, his woman's brother. And he dwelt in the land of Madai near his woman's brother until this day. Notice I don't call nobody wives. And he called, his wife is another word for the B word, so you don't want to, sister, you don't want to be called that. Just say, call me your woman. And I'm going to call you my man. Or depending, maybe king or whatever you give honor to who honor is due. Hallelujah. Watchman, the elder prophet, however it goes. Sometimes they're all the same people. Same, definition of the same person. They're filling all three roles is what I'm saying. And he called his dwelling place, and the dwelling place of his sons, Madai, after the name of his father, Madai. We're done. Now the question is, what did you learn? What did you learn? Almost 3 hours of teaching. What did you learn? Well, first, that you can do better. Hope you learned that. Second, we have to do the work of Yahuah if we're going to be blessed. Third, there are demons all over the place. Fourth, most of these demons are people you know and see, and they're more the ones that you don't see that you do see, so stop believing that it isn't true. Religion was there to subjugate you, not to help and enhance you. Taxation without representation is fool's gold. Just because you see people building things don't mean that it's safe. We got evidence that that wasn't true. That Yahuwah's way is the best way for you. True contrition and repentance is transparency. Hard work does pay off, but you got to be resilient. You got to be resistant towards evil. You got to do what's right. You got to teach your children, train them up in the ways of Yahuwah. You got to eat food to be healed. You invest in Yah's leadership, not the world's leadership. They have Yah's grace and blessings to heal you. That medicine is not here to help you. Medicine was placed here because of the wickedness of men like you. Who are still doing wickedness, and that's why 1 out of 4 persons in this country is on drugs, mind-altering drugs. And most of the drugs that are used all over this earth, although they want to blow up Venezuela because they're sending drugs. Why don't you just talk to these Americans about using the drugs? Because if there wasn't a market here, then you wouldn't have to go and mess with the Maduro's generals in Venezuela. Anybody ever thought about that? You would have to declare war on the Mexican cartels that wouldn't a bunch of drug and dope addicts here in America. And they ain't talking about no Israelites. We're only a small portion of this country's population. And most of our population here are young children, real old, the old people. So you factor them two out of the mix, you're probably talking about 2%, 3% of the population. So we ain't supporting the drug trade. We don't have that kind of resources to do that. These are white folks, your wicked asses. That supports the drug trade, because you're the one using the drugs. Well, then you make us obviously the face of it, because that's your nature. Well, we learned that too. That religion is the opioid of the people. It's a drug in and of itself. That your children are a gift from Yahuah. To have children is a gift from Yahuah. So why aren't you treating them like they're special? Why are you selling them out by prostituting them out to this world? And I'm not just talking one dimension here. I'm not just talking about that. I'm talking about just letting them run wild like heathens, like the heathens do. No discipline, no infrastructure, no true learning. If the blessing of Elohim come from the knowledge of this Torah, why isn't the Torah part of their learning? Why you got a math book, you got a reading book, you got a writing book. Why don't they have this book? Seems like to me you're deciding for them what's going to happen to them. But you said you want them to be independent. Well, give them the word, give them the Torah. Then truly they'll be blessed. If that's what you really mean by what you're saying. I know that's what we're going to do, the righteous remnant. So, I gave you some, behaviors of, what Satan was telling you about the sons of men, about they love evil. You know what I'm saying? He said, they want you, Yahuah, to use you. And then once they get what they want from you, then they turn right back like a dog back to his own vomit. So they're only going to show up for what they want. If they don't like the word being taught or what's being taught, they run off. They go. They ain't here for that. They're like a crackhead, just want a couple of hits off that crack pipe. Then they out on their feet like a zombie. But don't be like them. You know what I'm saying? Come with everything that's in you. Love him sincerely. Love him completely. Love him with a pure heart. Righteous stranger, same thing to you. Stay righteous. Noah was not Noah, hallelujah. Job was a righteous stranger. And look how Yahuah blessed him. Balaam was a wicked stranger, and Yahuah destroyed him. But they both were interacting with the Creator. So just because you interact with the Creator don't mean the Creator interacting with you no more than he would be with these demons, Master or Satan. So don't confuse Yahuah with the devils, with demons, is what I'm saying here. And how would you be able to discern the difference? Being in this Torah learning. Because this will engage, we engage him and he engages us. What else? Did I miss anything? If I did, put it in the comments what you took away, all right? But that being said, my dear brothers and sisters, I want to tell you guys thank you for your, for those of you who are helping or supporting of this work. I just want to tell you I appreciate it, and I know Yahuah does. For those of you all who are with us on the studies every Wednesday, I'm glad you're there, because maybe it can spray it out, right? You got the time is short. And another thing I didn't mention, don't confuse all this building and what they tell you is progress. Hey, just go back to the book, the Tower of Babel, what happened. Joshua's version of the Tower of Babel, a lot of those people in them buildings, they got slaughtered. So all you, construction workers, watch your ass. Something's coming. Remember I said it. Just like the brother said 2 years ago, I told him y'all was going to bless him. Something coming. It ain't good. Only protection we have is this truth, Yah's word, and that will be that shield around us, brothers and sisters. So you righteous strangers, stay righteous. All right? But you got to be all the way in. I mean, most of us thought Job was an Israelite. Look how loyal and dedicated he was. You have to have that same loyalty and dedication. You ain't going to accept nothing less. That being said, brothers and sisters, again, thank you for your time. Praise Yahuah. We're at 3 hours. Get the work in. And have a great Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.